in the sky, gazing far into the night. I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through for you, 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 won't you let the light shine through? In the sky, gazing far into the night. I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through for you, for you, for you, for you, for you, for you, for you,
Hey, what's up, everybody? Thank you guys for joining the stream. How's everybody doing? Welcome one, welcome all. Appreciate y'all being here. Yeah, this is gonna be a pretty dense discussion for sure. A lot of stuff happened this week. But yeah, thank you guys all for tuning in. I finally got the stream running the first try, like no hiccups, no mess ups. It's not I didn't start the stream unlisted, so hopefully more people are tuning in now than last week's initial live stream, which should be exciting. Sorry, give me 1 second. I actually am double checking to make sure everything's good before we start. But yeah, how's everybody's week been? So yeah, I had to delay the stream yesterday at the last minute. Typically, I saw some people in the chat asking, typically these streams happen every Thursday at this time, every Thursday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. However, yesterday, last minute, something came up. I had to kind of reschedule. But I still wanted to talk about the episode, so I didn't want to like double it down for next week's, just because I don't know what episode 3 is going to give us. But this episode gave us a lot. Yeah, well, it's Friday here too. I mean, but yeah, yesterday was Thursday, and that's when the streams usually happen. I mentioned it last minute on Twitter and on the YouTube community tab, letting people know that I had to swap it over. Oh, it's Saturday there. Oh, well, aren't you guys lucky? Alasia! Thank you so much for the donation. Appreciate ya. Thank you for tuning into the stream as well. Glad to have you here. Yeah, Jarl, happy birthday. Happy birthday, man. I saw it in the Discord, but I've been all over the place today, so I haven't had a chance to stop and say hi. I know a lot of people are playing the new Pokemon game. How many of you guys are playing Pokemon Sword and Shield? Unfortunately, Ruby's keeping me incredibly busy to the point where I probably won't be able to really play it until after Ruby ends. But the game's not going anywhere. I'm in no rush. But I know a lot of people are playing it. I know that game's there's been a lot of controversy surrounding the game since like leading up to its release, like with the amount of Pokemon and the overall polish of the game, or lack thereof for some people. I just think it's exciting. A new Pokemon game. I haven't played Pokemon since like the 3rd generation. So actually the 3rd generation was the last gen I really played. I came back for the 5th generation, Black and White, didn't like it, never went back. Hey, what up, Ross? Think I'll have to do smaller donations from now on, but never mind that now. Good to be back for another stream. It's going to be a fun one. Yeah, so what's interesting about this episode, or rather the setup that I did for the discussion, is there wasn't a lot of things that I had to screenshot, because a lot of the meat of the episode really comes down to like the big discussions of really, I think we're really going to have like a discussion of morality again. This is going to be similar to what took part last volume with episode 2, with Ozpin lying to the group and telling lies and half-truths and stuff like that. And it seems like now we're going to be revisiting that topic with a different pair of lenses on, no pun intended. But so there really wasn't a lot of prep work needed, just because you could really talk about an entire scene with just a couple of screenshots to complement it, and then at that point just bouncing ideas off of what I say versus what you guys respond with in the chat. But yeah, I thought this was did you make sure to screenshot? Oh, Hunt, you should know me better than that. Absolutely, we're definitely going to be talking about that, and that's going to go into the review as well, because it's such an oof moment, and it's almost it's I don't know, it's a mess up to like an almost comedic degree. So yeah, when I saw it, I started busting out laughing. I didn't even notice it. Someone in my Discord mentioned it when we were rewatching the episode. Oh, Sigma, I'll show you. I'll show all of you. It's towards the end of the chapter, but I honestly think, and take this with a grain of salt because I say this all the time, I don't think this is going to be a longer discussion than last week's. I don't know what the hell was up with me talking about the first episode and the opening for almost 5 hours. I feel, so what I'm going to be doing starting next week, because I thought about it today, I have a notebook. I bought a separate 3-subject notebook, and for those of you who watched like my RWBY reactions, I kind of did like essays, like notes that I kind of looked over for like doing my discussions of RWBY, and my RWBY discussions were no longer than like 3 hours. So I'm going to basically be doing that again, but with RWBY, so that way I can not ramble as much and not go so far off the beaten path where I feel like I'm boring people, especially those of you who are here, because people after the fact watch, and I'm incredible. So really quick, type 1 in the chat if this is your first time in the live stream. Like if this is like your first time watching one of these. I'm just curious, because a lot of people, in last week's discussion, I asked, I was like, if whoever's watching this after the fact, if they make it to this live stream, if they make it to this point in the live stream, let me know in the comments. And a ton of people, like, to the point where it like made me really happy to know that like these live streams aren't just like when it's live and then once it's over, it's over and done with. A lot of people tuned in afterwards, and a lot of people, I guess the 2s in the chat are for people who've been here. But yeah, it kind of gave me a lot of reassurance and I don't know, just made me feel really happy and proud to know that the content is stuff that people look forward to the point of watching like a 4.5 hour live stream after the fact that it's no longer live. So I definitely appreciate you guys for that. Welcome to all of the people who are new here. Like I said, these live stream discussions go on for a few hours. Just kind of breaking down the episode scene by scene, moment by moment. There's a lot of stuff to talk about with this episode in particular. This episode was very... I said it in my reaction, but I feel like this episode was incredibly straightforward, but it was dense because there's just so much conversation to be had about, you know, it's not just like everyone's on different sides, right? There's people that are on one end of the spectrum, and again, it parallels volume 6, chapter 2, with what's the right thing to do, and is lying justified, and is it a good thing to lie if it's for the betterment or if it's for the best of others' well-being. So I think that's what made this episode really, really, really engaging, really exciting, and especially to see how it plays into the rest of the volume and the overall arc, because things can go bad really quick, really bad if this isn't rectified, if certain things aren't rectified from this episode. So with all that said, I'm just gonna read through chat really quick before we start up. Hey, what's up, Ian? Hey, Arnold, how's it going? Glad to be here in the stream. It's been a while for me. Absolutely. Hope you've been well, bud. Thanks for tuning in. Ruby Moon Rose. Hey, Arnold, how do you like Volume 7 so far? Did you get my letter? When are you getting back to RWBY Chibi? So RWBY Chibi, oh gosh. I finished Season 2 during the summer, and I just faltered on Season 3 because of Red versus Blue. But I'm definitely going to be continuing with RWBY Chibi. It's not something that I'm just going to drop and never pick up again. At this point, it's probably going to be after RWBY 7, just because I already have like another review series that I'm doing for RWBY that I debuted earlier this week. I do the reactions and the live stream discussions weekly as well. But yeah, I'm really enjoying the volume as a whole. Like, the first episode was great. Like, we got the reintroduction of Penny. We're in a new kingdom. Things are kind of setting up. Episode 2 is what really took it off, because now things are happening, you know what I mean? Like, things are happening very subtly, especially with like Watts and Tyrion, and Ironwood's plans are out there, and now we're kind of just getting into like, okay, we're gonna be in this arc for a while, we're gonna be in this kingdom for a while. Let's get these characters, accustomed to how things are run, and basically trying to help out with this grandmaster plan that Ironwood has in place. So as of right now, very engaging, and it picks up almost immediately. So I'm really enjoying it. Bria Rose, thank you for becoming a YouTube channel member. I appreciate that. Hope you enjoy the RWBY emotes, your badge, and if you use Discord, you'll have access to my server as well. Appreciate it. Hey, Christian! What's up, dude? Thank you for the $20 super chat. Appreciate you, man. It's been a while. Haven't seen a live stream since Borderlands. Oh boy. Well, in terms of gaming, all of my gaming streams happen on YouTube. On Twitch. But yeah, when RWBY starts, I really have no time for anything else, unfortunately. I also have my bottles of water prepped. Last week I was a hot mess last week. I'll tell you that much. I don't know how I made it through that first. I mean, it was the first time jitters of a new volume and just getting back into the step of things. But I feel like now, I have, I don't know, I have a better head on my shoulders. But let's see. Hey, John O'Mate, what's up, man? Thanks for joining the stream. Appreciate ya. Have I seen Cam Kip? I have not yet. Hello, Arnold. Back for another week of Ramble of Birds. Thank you. Appreciate it, man. Did I miss anything? No, we are about to start right now, actually. So, without further ado, appreciate you guys being in here. For those of you who are watching after the fact, I hope you enjoy listening in, for whether you're watching the actual screen, whether you're using this as a podcast to do homework or chores or whatever the case might be. I appreciate it. Thank you guys very much for the warm welcome back for Volume 7, the warm reception, the fact that you guys enjoy these. It really means a lot to me to know that, like, my time and my effort and my energy isn't going to waste, and it's something that a lot of people enjoy. One of the only live streams I actually watch. Thank you very, very much. Let's see. Okay, so before anything, slow chat is being enabled before I forget. And this time, like I said, last week was a hot mess because I disabled the live chat and then I re-enabled the live chat and then put slow mode because, you know, it was my first time ever live streaming apparently. Clamps, love that grin you have in start of volumes. Thank you. Appreciate it. I prefer the rambles. Yeah, last week was awful. Last week was so bad. Okay, so the first thing that I want to say, like before we get into like the actual discussion itself, is two things I want to talk about really quick. Number one, very, very happy, very excited with the results of it. It was something that I was very nervous and anxious about doing. This is basically kind of the result of last week's discussion. But for those of you who haven't seen it, I've uploaded to my channel since then. But I have debuted the first chapter review for my rapid fire review series for RWBY Volume 7. It's basically an enhanced recap of the discussion, but in an interesting way, to the point where if you haven't watched the live stream discussions, this is obviously going to be most informative for those people. And even if you have seen the live stream discussions, I got a lot of comments from people that were saying like, oh wow, I was actually there for the live streams and these were still exciting and fun and enjoyable to watch and entertaining. I had a lot of fun putting this together. The only problem that I'm gonna have is with upload schedule, because it's basically going to be on par with non-first members, unfortunately, just because it takes a while for me to kind of think of all the bullet points and then editing everything together, getting clips from old volumes if they correlate to whatever's happening and whatnot. So I'm already working on the episode 2 rapid fire review. It's probably going to be out later in the week, long after episode 3 is out. But basically all of my thoughts are already there and put out there. So me watching episode 3 won't influence my episode 2 review. The only thing is, like I said, it's going to be put out. Everything's going to be put out in conjunction with like the week-to-week schedule. So you'll get my episode 2 live stream discussion, and then you'll get my episode 2 reaction, and then you'll get my episode 2 rapid fire review, and then the cycle starts over week to week. And that's obviously because I'm a first member, but you can't just put everything else out. You have to put it on par with the non-first members. I think it was good. I wasn't home for the last stream, so I watched the rapid fire. Yeah, see, like that's the whole point of it. The whole point of that video was really to cater to those people who don't have time to watch these live stream discussions. But at the same time, if you're here to watch the initial thoughts, the rapid fire reviews are basically my thoughts, but really brought down to like a bullet point. And like, you can still take something away from it, even if you've been here for however many hours it takes. So if you haven't checked it out, I'd really appreciate if you guys could let me know what you guys think about it. I got a lot of great feedback of things that I can change and what people liked the most about it and what things I'll keep the same. It's an adopted format, obviously, similar to that of like Cinema Sins or Cinema Wins. And it's because I can't really write a script, and that was really the first time that I ever did something like that. So for those of you who did watch it, for those of you who did like engage with it, I appreciate it. It's got like 12,000 views, which is really, really, really good for something that isn't a discussion or reaction from me in terms of RWBY. So thank you guys for that. I appreciate it. And we're also audio pops. Oh, I'm sorry. It's probably because I'm like super close to my mic. My bad. And secondly, we're like super close to 100,000 subscribers. I'm like a little under 5,000 subscribers, so I really think I have a chance. I really think the channel has a chance of hitting 100K before RWBY Volume 7 ends. I think that's going to be also like a big stretch because on average, my channel has grown about 10,000 subscribers a year. That's basically like the rough average of it. So I'm just gonna try the very best that I can to do as much as I can and kind of give quality for people who want to who have subbed and who have supported me so far. But 100K is gonna be massive. I already have ideas for what I want to do, like a video series. Obviously, the silver play button's a big factor. I'm thinking about like 100K special, just because I never thought I'd be able to get 100K until maybe like a couple of years ago. I started really actively thinking like, holy shit, I can actually reach that. And it'd be cool if I could reach 100K before I pivot and do like other content, like anime content or stuff like that. I'd really love to be able to reach 100K solely on like RWBY, Red versus Blue, Genlock, and the gaming live streams that I've done. Yeah, Killer Zombie. I have a memory box video. That's going to be my 100K special, but I'm thinking of doing 2 specials. You know what I mean? Like, obviously the silver play button when that gets here, the memory box special, and then maybe like 100 facts about me, or 100 question Q&A or something like that. How's Killaxon doing? She's okay. I believe she's streaming Pokemon right now on Twitch. But yeah, overall, I just want to say, for those of you who, especially for those of you who have subscribed, you guys are obviously a part of that growth, and I wouldn't be here without you guys, and the channel wouldn't be doing as well as it is without you guys. So, you know, more than anything, it's that's ultimately just like a nod to all of you who've enjoyed my videos over the years, whether it's the reactions, the reviews, the discussions, the gaming videos, the red versus blue content, or even if there's someone out there who's been around long before I was known in the RWBY community. You know, it's been a cool, awesome adventure. It's been like 6.5 years. Next year is my 7-year anniversary on the platform, which is crazy as well. But yeah, it's exciting. But yeah, anyways, with all of that other stuff out of the way, we're going to jump into the episode itself. Again, thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate it. And without further ado, we're going to be starting this. Also, shout out to the person who did like a timestamp of every major point of the discussion last week. That was like a blessing, and I really do appreciate that. I don't remember the name of the user, but I pinned the comment in the last discussion. So that was like super nice of that person to do. They definitely didn't need to do that, but it definitely kept tabs for people who came in after the fact, so thank you. So yeah, picking up right where we left off. Team RWBY's going to jail. No, I'm just kidding. I just decided to get these 2 GIF moments here just to kind of get everyone's initial expressions. For the most part, they're not excited. They're not happy. They basically just got in trouble for doing what they're trained to do, which was initially confusing to me, right? It's like, oh, unauthorized landing, unauthorized, use of a ship, unauthorized weapons by non-licensed huntsmen. And it's like, well, it was either that or these Grimm were going to tear us to shreds. So it kind of sucks that it's like, hey, this is our job. We're supposed to be protecting people, and they get arrested for it. Also, I love Nora out of everyone here because she's the only, like, expressive one, just actually trying to, like, bite the gravity dust, like, grips off of her wrist, which was, I mean, that's classic Nora. I'd expect Nora to do something. I wouldn't be surprised with Nora doing something like that. Nora is a constant mood. Yeah, it's like constantly being hungry. Kermit Clinton, thank you so much for the super chat. Just wanted to say that, I think to you, I'm trying to do RWBY reactions as well, and wanted to say thank you. You are a great inspiration. Well, good luck. I hope you enjoy doing them more than anything. Have fun. You know what I mean? Just have fun doing it, and be genuine, and, you know, if it's something that you love, hopefully it'll garner, an audience of people who enjoy the same thing that you like. LMAO Nora, though. Nora's best girl. You can't, yeah, I love that. I loved her effort, right? It's like, they're gravity dust. You're not breaking out of those, Nora, but she's just like, screw it, I'm gonna try it anyway. But yeah, everyone here is going to jail, essentially. I also, the fact that it was Nora and Nora's super extra, I actually got this clip as well, just showing, after the fact when John was talking about that last shot, I actually had to clip these 2 together, but the last one, she's actually like yanking on it. It's so adorable. That's literally Nora to a T. And, I don't know, like, even in this stressful situation, even after everything that had just recently happened, like, Nora is still Nora. So, yeah, she's basically as feral as can be. And I liked it enough to kind of feature and showcase it. I almost spat out my Coke there. Warn me. Yeah, Nora's best girl. Well, I mean, she's one of many best girls, but this was just like a very classic Nora moment that I appreciated, and loved the level of expression for her, of like, holy shit, what am I doing? Oh wait, there's something else happening. Let me actually stop and gather my composure. Like that second shot right there. I want to make that an actual GIF. Alright, I had to turn off my air conditioner because my room's getting a little cold now. But yeah, Nora meme face, exactly. Yeah, there's too many best girls, too many good gifs. But yeah, I just saw this moment and I thought it was interesting to kind of bring up and showcase. So moving on from there, this was the first thing that I was really excited that they followed up with, because I mentioned in the last discussion, and a lot of people didn't notice, but I was like, there's a random dude chilling in, like, and even the top image, I don't know what's up with the lighting in this episode, but I actually had to enhance this image and like brighten it all the way, like max brightness. And even then it still kind of looks like it's set in the exact same, it still looks like it's set in the exact same, tone of the episode. Like, this doesn't really look like an edited image, but I don't know what the hell it was. But this entire episode, like any dark moments, like in here and in Ironwood's office, was so hard to get screenshots, because for some reason it just made the image a lot darker than what it was. And I don't know I don't know if it was my computer, if it was my settings, or whatever the case may be. I just noticed that. So I think for a lot of people as well, that's why either I wouldn't be surprised if some people watched this episode and were like, wait, what? That guy wasn't in the back of the truck like last week. And then they go back and they see that he actually was back there. And we mentioned that last week as well. The guy in the back, and I was like, I really hope they address him, or they bring him up, or they talk about him, and they don't just like make it seem like there's no one back there, because there's clearly someone back there and we see him. For those of you who don't know, his name is Forrest, like Forrest Gump. That's clearly not the reference. I think it's Forrest because like the color, like the green, like the forest green that he's wearing. I really like, I think the guy's name, it's Eric something. I saw his Twitter handle earlier today, and I actually looked him up after the episode, because this guy did such a great job with the performance of a secondary character. I was like, oh my God, this was such a great performance. I really liked his, I don't know, he just felt very charismatic, very energetic, enthusiastic about what he was fighting for, and he kind of gave the exposition in a somewhat comedic fashion, along with the music that was complementing it. I really liked the voice acting of this guy. I just watched Forrest Gump. Eric Bowder, Bowdower, is that how you say that? Bowdower? Yeah, I saw the Team RWBY spin. I didn't watch it, but I saw the tweet. I don't know what that's about. And I see people talking about it in the chat. I can only imagine what that is. He's the floor producer for broadcast. Well, he has a knack for voice acting. He needs to voice act either more side characters, or they need to give Forrest like a permanent spot in the show, because I thoroughly enjoyed his performance. I thought it was really well done. I would honestly say that that's like the standout voice acting of the episode, because we got like the voice acting for we got the voices of the other characters as well for the Aesops. So I think his voice worked really well. At first I didn't know who it was, but I was trying to pick out like if it's a character, if it's a person that I knew from RT. And then when I saw the credits, I was like, oh wow, that's actually someone I've never heard of before, or I don't actively know of them in the community. And if they work for broadcast, then they're a fucking unsung hero, because broadcast like holds up Rooster Teeth with a lot of their live productions and stuff like that. So he shows up on Off Topic a lot. Yeah, I haven't been able to watch. God, I don't remember. I think the last Off Topic I watched was the one regarding like the crunch time and the layoffs that Jeff had to had to kind of talk about in the first few minutes. I think that one was like a couple months ago. That was the last Off Topic that I've watched as of recent. But I love Off Topic. I'm not really I'm not too big into Achievement Hunter, but I love catching up with the personalities and the people behind the scenes who do all of the Achievement Hunter videos and stuff like that. He's always on the RT podcast. I'm so sad that Bernie's no longer on the podcast. I miss Bernie so much. He's like the dad of the company, to me at least. Yeah, so this bottom image here, I don't know what happened when it came to the cut, but you see like a little bit of Nora shot in there. I guess I clipped it wrong, but this is what I was kind of talking about when it comes to the comedic factor. The first thing was just like him acknowledging Team RWBY, like they're talking about, oh, we got manned by the, we got like strong-armed by the Aesop. That fishing pole guy took us out like it was nothing, and he caught wind of that. And obviously, none of them have been to Atlas. Weiss has basically been to Atlas, but she's kind of like, oh, they're not that big of a deal. They're just like the ace operatives. They're the top of the line, the best of the best. And it's a differing perspectives. You have someone who's used to that, and then you have someone who's like kind of oppressed by that. And he was basically going off talking about how they're Ironwood's personal attack dogs. They, you know, and basically going into the exposition of like basically the conflict between Mantle and Atlas being oppressed, Atlas being exploited for their resources, and you know, basically being, you know, for either the workers or maybe even the dust mines. And Atlas is kind of siphoning the life out of the economy and out of the community of people that live down there. Yeah, he basically said, he was like, I'm here because he basically was like, he wanted to talk. He was basically spreading the word of Atlas's exploitation of Mantle, and General Ironwood is trying to silence me. And then they're like, you threw a brick at our ship. And I love how he was just like, he just played into it. He was like, yeah, you bet your ass I did, because then more people will be talking about it. So I like his line of thinking, the fact that he's enthusiastic about this, he believes in it, and he's on the side of Mantle, and he starts talking about Robin Hill. And we talked about her last week as well. Haven't seen her yet, but we've seen a lot of influences based on the first episode, the election board, the intro as well. And he kind of gives us a little bit of the exposition regarding Robin, who, this is Robin Hill, for those of you who don't know. She's in the intro, and she's kind of like, you know, backing a bunch of rallying Mantle people who basically have had enough of Ironwood's rule. Critical support for that guy. Yeah, oh my god, I love that guy, man. He's like her biggest fan, it seems like, because he started talking about her, and he was like, you know, what did he say? Talking about our cause. And then he basically mentioned that, you know, Robin Hill's gunning for a seat on the council, and he talked about her happy huntresses. And last week, we also mentioned and talked about like her potential inspiration, that she's basically fighting the wealthy for the sake of the needy, and that's very akin to Robin Hood, and you know, basically a female version of Robin Hood, Robin Hill. So, and she has her happy huntresses, which is the equivalent of Robin Hood's merry men. So I think that the references, the inspirations are really cool. I wonder if her merry men. I wonder if her happy huntresses are like the equivalent to Ironwood's Aesops. You know what I mean? Like, does she have 5 of them? Like Ironwood has 5 of his Aesops. And he also mentions that they all graduated at the top of the class at Atlas Academy, but instead of going into the military like Winter, for example, and that the World of Remnant also mentioned that Atlas kind of indoctrinates their students to be like, hey, you can go to any other kingdom to learn and you know, to become a huntress or a huntsman, but it's probably in your best interest in your future if you stayed here and protected your home kingdom. So it's interesting that even with that mindset, she was just like, nah, I'm good. I'm not going to go into the military special ops unit. I'm going to kind of go do my own thing, protect my people, you know. And she didn't kind of, even though she went to Atlas, she wasn't like big-headed. And I like that about, I'm interested to see more of her character, especially since her and her huntresses are top of the line, to the same degree of those who are in the military. Robin is a lovely, yeah, he was swooning over her too. He was like, I don't know how he described her, but he mentioned like lovely, charming, I think she said, like I don't know what other words he used to describe her, but he obviously he talks about her in high regard, because, you know, she's kind of leading for better conditions in Mantle. And I completely agree. You got kids like on the street, you got drunk people on the street, the place looks like shit, they don't update the security. It's just a real shit show overall for everyone who lives there. You even had like Forrest like just playing the banjo on the side of the street. The place just looks like a shithole. And obviously Atlas couldn't care less for those kind of people. They get what they want out of them. They give them the bare minimum to keep them going, to keep them oppressed. And you know, finally someone standing up against the big guy. Charismatic, talented, lovely Robin Hill and her happy huntresses. Yeah, I'm excited to see the happy huntress, because then that's like, okay, happy huntresses. Let's just say, how many merry men were there? I don't remember. But yeah, that's like another 5 fucking characters. If they're all to the same degree and the same level of importance as Robin or the Aesops, that's another like roster of characters, man. That's crazy. Also, I wonder how things have changed since the fall of Beacon in Atlas/Mantle, and where Team Funky falls in line with that. Because they went to Atlas Academy, but are they still in Atlas? Are they a part of Mantle? Are they a part of this regime that she's working on? Because I can definitely see Flint Cole being a part of that, right? Because, you know, he mentioned like his dad owned a little dust shop of his own, got destroyed by the competition of the Schnee Dust Company. So I can easily see Flint and Neon Cat, especially if they're both close. Neon's a Faunus as well. Even though she's like happy-go-lucky, I feel like that could easily be like a front. Like, I'm gonna smile, you know, and I'm gonna do the best I can to be optimistic and positive, even though my lifestyle is pretty shitty and I'm treated differently because of who I am. So I can easily see Flint and Neon being a part of this underground order to kind of usurp the powers that be in Atlas. And it would be kind of cool to see the other two members of Team Funky, but it's the happy huntresses, so I would assume it's only females that are a part of her entourage. What do you think will happen as our characters move further into the mystery and suspicious place that is Atlas? I feel like we're going to be getting that as the volume goes on. I don't really know what to make of it now, because the only thing that we know of Atlas is the Schnee Dust Company is there. Like, we haven't seen any of the kind of society, you know, the societal, like, way of life, like how things are run. Like, just looking at Mantle in the first episode, it's very clear to see how gloomy, how depressing, the level of despair and how bleak it is. And the fact that it's not a great place to live. You don't want to be on the lower end of the kingdom in terms of like your livelihood, and just your overall quality of life is just bad. But we haven't really seen that of Atlas. I don't even know what like the city streets are like, or what it's like to walk down the street or walk into a store, or how people talk to each other. There's no sense of any type of culture in Atlas yet. We've seen that from Mantle, so I don't really have anything to follow up on until we see more of the actual city of Atlas. I guess if we can go by people like Jacques and the people at his party, people are very posh, very uppity, very uptight, and I don't know, just really like holier than thou kind of people. Just look at Weiss from Volume 1, and that's probably a great representation of the people. But as of right now, I don't really know. I can't really say until we see more of the upper echelons of Atlas. Just got back from work. What I miss, Arnold? Not much, really. We're just kind of breaking into the episode right now where I'm talking about Robin Hill, her happy huntresses, Forrest, talking about her in high regard and stuff like that. So, as of right now, you haven't really missed much. Yeah, snobs. Yeah, they're snobby kind of people. I don't really know the right word, like, because I don't really like speaking ill of people, like, even if they are, like, shitty individuals. So, like, yeah, they're just very snobby, very arrogant, ignorant as well. They kind of keep to themselves, and they see themselves as better than others. Henry Marigold, I wonder if we'll see him again. Yo, I will give Rooster Teeth so many fucking props if they decide to put Henry Marigold in the Atlas arc. Like, just to know that, okay, we made a character who had like a discount Neptune model, who had like his own kind of personality, who exists in this kingdom. It'd be cool to see him again, and it'd be cool for him to cross paths with Weiss again. I really hope that they do that. I don't know if that would even be possible, just because, like, I mean, it's obviously possible, but it's like, is it worth it? You know what I mean? Like, what's the point of doing that? I don't know. I'd really want to see that. I love that Verve has Rooster Teeth stuff. Let's see. Hey, Rising. Hey again, I can't stay long, just wanted, since I'm making a video, but I wanted to say hi. Hey, if you're watching, I watched your your last 2 RWBY videos that you put out. I really liked them, man. I subscribed to your channel too. Keep it up, bud. Look forward to seeing the other videos that you make. I don't know if you're still in here, but if you are, thank you for stopping by. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it, buddy. All right, so moving on from there, I liked this moment right here, this interaction between these two, because this immediately shows that, like, what I liked about this scene is what follows up in the next scene. Like, this guy turns and just looks at her and was like, oh, wow. Easy to say for a Schnee heiress living comfortably up in Atlas, you know? And it automatically gives that idea of, like, you don't know her, you don't know what she's been through, but you know the prestige of her family, you know what her family's legacy is like. So it immediately casts judgment. And I like that, like, Weiss is just like, oh, whatever, you know, not anymore, of course. And this obviously is probably just a glimpse of the tension between Atlas and Mantle, but even the Schnee Dust Company, the Schnee family, comparatively. And this is going to be a big battle, I think, for Weiss this volume, because she has to undo all of she has to basically fill up the well of goodwill that was drowned out, like, that was basically drained, like, emptied completely by her father and his business tactics, and just draining the goodwill of the people over the years of everything that her grandfather had built up. And I like that she's going with that approach of, like, I'm gonna lead at the Schnee Dust Company the same way my grandfather did, because it led to, like, better conditions, a better business, like, just ultimately just a better business relationship with people. And I think the more, and this reminded me also of the opening of seeing Blake, a Faunus, with Weiss, a Schnee heiress, in the mines. And I said that too, like, last week. I was like, I don't even think, I honestly wouldn't be surprised if Jacques or Lily had ever never stepped foot into the Schnee quarry mines ever. And that just says a lot about the fact that she's willing to get dirty, you know what I mean? Like, literally, like, in the mines. I don't think she's gonna be, like, pickaxing away, but the fact that she's down there, she's seeing the struggles and the conflict and the environment and the situation herself, and she has more perspective than someone who just sits in an office and makes business decisions to make money. And I liked this moment because what follows up immediately afterwards is, well, first off, you see Atlas, which is pretty dope. Or rather, like, the upper echelon, the upper end of Atlas. You see the king, you see the academy, obviously, in the center, and you see all the things off to the side. And I guess her house is, like, way off to the left, like, it's on, like, its own little perched mountain. But yeah, this place looks like, they mentioned it, Rooster Teeth mentioned, like, it's kind of like a take on New York, like a futuristic New York City, like if it was created by, like, Apple. I think that's something along the lines of what they mentioned. And this place just it's breathtaking. It looks so beautiful, but it's just like, it's like what Weiss said. She was like, don't let that fool you. And it reminded me of the phrase, like, everything that glitters isn't gold. You know what I mean? Like, just because something looks nice, that doesn't necessarily mean it is nice.
Hey Arnold, hope you're well.
Hey!
It took me to finish Volume 6, which was just torture, but I will be caught up and joining live streams when I can this time round.
Absolutely.
Excited to see where this volume goes. P.S. Congrats to you and Cal.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you for the donation. It took me until May to finish Volume 6. Wow. I hope you enjoyed it. Volume 6 I really, really liked Volume 6. The opening was great. The volume over as a whole, I think, was a big improvement to previous volumes. And one of my absolute favorites of this is definitely up there. But I'm glad you're caught up. I appreciate you tuning into the live streams. And thank you very much for the kind words and well wishes. Let's see. Yeah, looks can be deceiving. Essentially, yeah, looks can be deceiving. Dashy! I saw your comment, but the chat's going too fast, believe it or not. And I'm also rambling. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. I wish YouTube had like a thing in the chat where you can just click on the person's name and you can see all of the history that they've said since they've been in the chat. That'd be incredible. That would help me out. Yeah, I can't find it. I'm sorry. Yeah, Dashy, thank you for joining. I saw you in the chat last week too, but you know me, I never shut the hell up, so I a million comments go by and I miss some. They basically all pass me by. But yeah, essentially, Atlas's atmosphere, if you will, its aura, no pun intended, is just very off. I can only imagine the foundation that this place was it is now built on. You know what I mean? It's, I don't know, it's just like the prettier it looks, the more just awful of a place that it is. And maybe that lies in its secrets, in its foundation, in, you know, the underbelly of the place, like what shady practices go on, what really goes on behind closed doors that no one really knows or sees or talks about, or brings to light. And that could probably be like even beyond Mantle. God knows what the people here do to each other. You know what I mean? It seems like it's like a cutthroat society that they live in. Everyone's trying to be on top. And it's even what Jacques mentioned in volume 4? Was it volume 4? Yeah, it was volume 4. He was like, when he like smacked Weiss, he was like, this behavior of yours is incredibly disappointing. You couldn't possibly imagine the lengths I've gone to keep this family where it is. So to me, it's just like, what has this guy done? Has he put a hit on somebody? Has he like taken competition out, like quite literally? I don't know. I don't know, man. Like, I just speculate to that degree because it's just, and then when you throw politics in there, there's levels of corruption, there's laundering, there's so much negative shit that could impact a place like this to make it look all star-spangled and fantastical and amazing. It's basically capitalism. Yeah. Wait, oh my god. Wait, they did? Oh my god, please show it on stream. No. They said it in one of their live streams that, like, I have the footage, but I can't set it up on OBS because I'm already streaming. But they said something along the lines of, like, they thought of Atlas to be like the kingdom would be like if Apple created the kingdom. And I guess it's inspired by like a metropolis, like the New York City metropolis. You know, you see the skyscrapers and stuff like that. So that's basically what it's inspired by. Show Twitter GIF on stream. Wait, what are you talking about? What Twitter GIF? I have no idea what you guys are talking about. If you guys are talking about something else. Oh my god, yeah. Mantle is the coal and Atlas is the diamond. Oh my god, that's so interesting. Holy shit, that's literally right. It's like Mantle is the furnace. Wow. That's really neat. Mantle is the coal and Atlas is the diamond that's made from it. I never thought of that. I guess even the lighting kind of reminds you of that. Like, Mantle kind of looks like embery, like orange colored, and then you have Mantle, which is like a bluish, like green hue, like a well, I guess any kind of diamond. Oh, it's a sneak peek for chapter 3. No, thank you. I'm fine. The episode comes out tomorrow. I'm not that anxious to look at it. I don't want to go too much. I already saw the thumbnail. That's enough for me. I already know they're getting the new outfits next week, or tomorrow rather. The new outfits, and that's basically it. So this is the part that I kind of wanted to emphasize and talk about here. So, and what I really, really, really like about this scene, holy crap. Nicholas, I don't know how to pronounce your last name. Dawa? I think that's how you say that. Thank you so much for the generous donation. Holy shit. My random guess is that Daddy Wood. That's the first time I've ever heard someone say that. My random guess is that Daddy Wood will find out he has been lied to and will have to fight the buddies that received. There's a good way, in a warm way, including Penny. They'll have to fight the buddies that received in such a warm way, including Penny. Oh, wait, did you mean greeted them? They'll have to fight the buddies that greeted them in such a warm way, including Penny? Thank you so very much. Appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's see. Just reading through the chat. Nicholas is the true MVP. Senpai, notice me, please. Clarabelle Martinez, welcome to the stream. I see you. Let's see. I'm getting like sidetracked. I definitely think it's the parallels between RWBY and Ozma's situation that's coming up in an important way. Yeah, I agree with that. But anyway, so this scene in particular, I really liked this scene because it kind of like the fact that she said what she said, like, oh, don't let that fool you. And he picked up on that. Forrest picked up on that. He's like, oh, wait, what? Why would she say that? How could she have it bad? She's an heiress. She's a Schnee. She lives in Atlas. And I love how he picked up on that, because I think that's just going to be what Weiss is going to have to do moving forward. She's going to have to like prove to people like I'm not what, you know what I mean? It's basically going to be like a volume 1 through 3 transformation, but now she's got to confront the people that she had to get away from because of all of that. You know what I mean? She's a different person because she left Atlas. Now she has to bring that change of personality back to Atlas and prove to those people, you know what I mean? And she even mentioned it like in volume 2 when they were kind of all talking about their motivations and what inspired them to become huntresses. And she even said, she's like, you know, I'm not stupid. I know my father's company kind of fucked up people's lives, you know, Faunus's lives, like lower class lives and stuff like that. And she has to be the answer for that. She has to find the answers, and she's got to change it for the better. And she's following in her grandfather's footsteps. And I almost want to think that, what's the song? I think, no, it's not This Life Is Mine. God, Weiss has so many songs. The Path of Isolation. The first line says, it starts with the unexpected loss of something dear. And I wonder if she's talking about her grandfather. Like, him dying is really, and I mean, she would have had to have been like a baby or like a child. Like, it really depends on when he died and when she was born. But I always wondered and thought, like, that lyric, ever since we got the confirmation of Nicholas Schnee and how the Schnee Dust Company was founded, I've always thought that line was about her grandfather. And that, like, after his death is what really caused her isolation to happen, because the mother became distant, became drunk, the father took over the business, that's all he cared about. The siblings were all separated and were all, you know, obviously Winter was the older one, so she was probably treated the same way Weiss was by the time she left. Whitley, the youngest, groomed to be like the father. So I think like the grandfather dying is really what caused Weiss's isolation to begin, and it only manifested as time went on. But I think she's willing to kind of look at how he developed and built up the company and follow in his footsteps. But I mean, that's just my perspective of how I feel about it. But again, this scene here just kind of shows me that she's going to have to earn a lot of the people's trust directly in moments like this, where she's actually going to be fighting alongside people, speaking out in bad practices. And it's just like how she dealt with that racist dude in the last episode. You know, people wanted to, like, you know, make a fuss about how it was handled, the ethics, the morality of it and whatnot. But realistically, that kind of probably showed Blake that Weiss is on her side more than ever, when that wasn't the case. That's not how the show started. If anything, they were at odds with each other because of Weiss's past. So I like that he picked up on that, number one. And over time, I hope we see more of Forrest, number one, because I love his voice performance. I loved the performance. I love the performance that Eric did on him. I really like his character, very charismatic, energetic, enthusiastic, comedic. And I hope we see more of him. And I hope he gets to see the evolution of Weiss, how he interpreted and perceived her now versus how that'll be as the arc goes on. So yeah, overall, I just really, really liked this scene. I thought it was a really great touch to the setup of Weiss's battle and what she's gonna have to deal with eventually, the longer this arc goes on. Oh man, this is so like my family. It's already been a year since my grandfather died. It took it was a huge effect on my family. Yeah, I feel like, and again, I feel like it does come down to like, what else would Weiss be talking about, you know? It starts with the unexpected loss of something dear. The warmth, the confident it cradled just disappeared. Yeah, I could easily see like her like love it. Like yeah, her freaking grandfather was based on Santa Claus. You know what I mean? Like imagine your grandfather was Santa Claus. I'd be devastated too, you know? Oh yeah, that confidently cradled just disappeared. His name was Nicholas Schnee, you know? You know, good old jolly old Saint Nicholas. But yeah, so essentially that whole interaction in the airship happens. We get the exposition of Robin, her happy huntresses. She's gunning for a seat on the council. She's going to be in an election. I guess now the election confirms that it was Ironwood and not Jacques. But then my other question that follows into that is like, why are we getting so many Jacques undertones in the opening, right? We saw the image of like the hologram change from Ironwood to Jacques. I'm sorry, yeah, from Ironwood to Jacques. And I don't know. It just makes me seem like Jacques gonna do something to usurp Ironwood, and Ironwood simultaneously gonna be losing his election seat to Robin, because Robin's just like blowing him out in terms of the territorial votes. You know what I mean? Like based on like how many ground, like the ground that she has covered for her nominees and her votes versus what Ironwood had on the Legends map in the opening. So, and then you have Watts, who's seemingly like hacking and tampering with stuff, and or maybe he just has the information to everything and he can kind of do what he wants and how, what, you know, in whatever way he wants. It's Jacques in the election. So like, are they both gunning for an open seat or are they gunning for Ironwood's seat? Jacques hopes to dethrone Ironwood, possibly. Or did I interpret that wrong? Okay, just an open seat. It's a three-way election. Ironwood, Jacques, and Robin. Watts is manipulating variables. Huh. Watts is Jacques' brother, confirmed. I've heard that theory go around. Calaxon actually had that theory on her channel as well. Oh yeah, I guess it's an open seat in the first place. And then once they have their seat, they're gonna just be like, okay, new order of business, everyone listen to me now. But I mean, Ironwood still has 2 seats, so I would assume just in general he has more power. Or he just has like 2 votes, whereas everyone else has 1. Yeah, we just really don't know how the seating plans, like the politics of the seating plans work. Like, did someone's term end? Does someone else, you know, did someone die or whatever the case might be? Yeah, I don't know. It's just very, I don't like politics. I don't know shit about it. I don't know how these people get put into office. I just know you have to go and vote in a ballot box, and you know, you vote based on your principles, on what you believe, what you feel is right, what you want to see, and you leave everything else in the hands of the other like 100 million people in the country. Let's see. Forrest dialogue implying that Robin's enemy is Ironwood, but that could be wrong. Yeah, I could see that just from their perspective, because they're the poverty-stricken. They are the underdogs. They're the ones that are the oppressed going up against, you know, the oppressors. And so from their perspective, Ironwood is the enemy because he's the leader of the military. He's the head of the, you know, he's the headmaster of the kingdom. Oh, I'm sorry, of the academy. So yeah, he's very much like the president of the kingdom, if you will. So I can definitely see why they would see Ironwood as the enemy, but then you got Jacques, who's like a slimy snake, business snake, and then no one even knows that Watts is around. But essentially, they make their way to Atlas. I like the fact that we see the Atlas Guard's armor for the first time in the Maya engine, because I think the last time we saw these guys was either Volume 2 or 3. I vividly remember them mostly in Volume 2, when they're like chasing Ruby and Penny through the streets of Vale after they revealed like the Elysian Knights and the Elysian Paladin. I'm pretty sure they're in Volume 3 defending the kingdom to some extent, but Volume 2 is the one that I remember them most fondly, is in that. So it's kind of cool to see those models be redone in the Maya engine. They look really nice. Pilot Boy has armor now. If only. We haven't seen them since Volume 3. Yeah, I just said Volume 3 as well, just because it's like, well, yeah, they were defending the, you know, the Vital Festival tournament and stuff like that. Replace the beacon, you know, it's like replace the E with a 3 and add a pound symbol to the end. Volume 3 immediately after Penny during... Oh, yeah, that's right. They're like shooting off like the wave of Grimm that's just running them, like running rampant. Yeah, I remember that now. Yeah, I just remember them most fondly in the Volume 2 as well, because Cinder fought a bunch of... didn't Cinder fight a bunch of them in the CCT? Yeah, she fought a bunch of them in Volume 2 as well. So yeah, Volume 2 was just my initial... And I mean, they debuted in Volume 2 as well. Wait, who's pressing... Oh, F in the chat for Pilot Boy? Yeah, I got nervous really quick because, like, Twitch culture is like, you press F in the chat when the stream goes down. So I just saw a bunch of Fs and I'm like, no, what happened? Yeah, don't... Oh my god, you guys are scaring me. Yeah, let's not do that, please. Let's not do that, please. But yeah, so they're making a detour. Obviously, they're not going to prison. They're going to see Ironwood. And, I guess it works out doubly for them, because that was the whole reason they were trying to mosey their way into the kingdom without being detected in the first place. Oh gosh, guys. Don't press F. Missed the first hour of the live stream. I mean, I'm look how far we've made it. They just arrived at Atlas Academy. I think you're good. My one question is, where the hell is, like... And then another thing that Forrest says, he's like, this isn't the police station when they're flying in, you know, when they're flying into land once they get to the kingdom. And I'm just saying to myself, I'm like, how would he know what the police station looks like unless he's been there a lot? So I wonder how often this guy's gotten into trouble with the law to the point where he knows what the police station up in Atlas looks like. And I assume while they all get the special treatment of going to see Ironwood and, you know, basically not get in trouble for what they did, this guy's going to jail. And I'm just like, that's so, like, yeah, I guess, yeah, he vandalized and, you know, he threw a brick at their ship and all that stuff. But I really, 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 really hope we see him again. Especially since he's like an advocate for Robin Hill. It'd be cool if he's like her poster boy, or if he's like the guy that's like on the streets with like the newspapers, like, you know, read all about it, Robin Hill taking down Ironwood, read all, you know what I mean? Like, he's like one of those people, and he's just kind of like spreading the word as much as he can. I don't know. I just really liked his character. If we don't see him again, I'll be really heartbroken, but I'm fingers crossed that we see him again. I'm not expecting him to be like a fighter or anything. I just really liked, he's just a really chill, cool second, you know, background character. Maybe he did the show your teeth graffiti. I feel like he's more of like a peaceful protester. You know, the fact that he threw the brick at their ship and not at them, especially. Yeah, Robin Hill equals Robin Hood. Yeah, at this point, it's basically like confirmed. Happy huntresses, merry men. It's kind of like you know, it's basically the gender bent version of Robin Hood and his merry men. You know, Robin Hill's a girl, her happy huntresses are, you know, female. So he throws peaceful bricks. Yeah, peaceful bricks. They hurt just as much, but they hurt with love. Yeah, I mean, he threw a brick at the ship. He didn't throw the brick at the people. I think that's just I don't know. He's peacefully disturbing the peace. I think it was his clever way to give exposition in a realistic way. Yeah, he could also just be there for exposition dump, but I don't know. I really liked him. And I don't know what it is with Rooster Teeth. They have such a good knack at making so many likable background characters that you'll never see again. Sienna Khan, Pilot Boy, this guy, like, I don't know what it is. Like, it's just like I don't know. It's just like, they're just a slice of the universe that they've created, and it's just like, I want to know as much about you as possible, and then you just never see them again. I don't know. It's unfortunate. It's like a gift and a curse for them. You know, I'm surprised no one's made fan art of him. Someone's already made fan art of like a lot of people are saying that she's the red panda faunus girl from the first episode who got like the robot arm replacement. Yeah, I don't think it was a bunny girl. Based on the ears, people are saying it was a red panda, which is adorable on top of that. obviously RWBY. Why? Yeah, so we get introduced to Atlas Academy. They're not in trouble after all. I mean, well, they think they are. And they're like, oh shit, we're in the doghouse now. We got to answer to the head honcho of this place. We don't even know what the hell he's like. He's probably like a ridiculous dictator. And RWBY is like, you know, they're like, we got to be careful what we say. Right in front of, I got so angry at that moment. I'm like, RWBY, I don't know how the fuck these guys don't hear you. You're like right by their side. I don't know. But yeah, like she's like, yeah, we got to keep it, you know, we got to keep it down. We have to figure out a plan, and they're willing to kind of go by her lead. So at this point, it's really on RWBY. I mean, in a way it is and it isn't. I know, like, and obviously I'm already trying to like jump the gun and get into the topic of their whole plan and stuff, because that there's so many things that can go wrong. More things can go wrong than ever going right with this plan. And I will never understand how, I don't know. Like, if I was in this show, I'd be interjecting at every turn and point for a plan that's happening. I'd be like, that's a good point, Ironwood, but what if we don't do that because X, Y, and Z? Like, the thing is, just everyone just lets things happen. They're just like, you know what? That's a good plan. Good talk, team. Break. I don't know, but basically, like, even Blake mentions it too. She's like, you know, we'll follow your lead, RWBY. And so everything is on this 17-year-old girl to be like, okay, we tell him what we want to tell him, we withhold what we want to withhold, we'll hear him out, and we'll go from there. And that does not instill confidence in me that things are gonna go well. It's been a while since the villains have had a victory. Watts is incredibly threatening, especially after this episode. Like, they were already hyping up Watts for me, you know, because he's the only one who really hasn't had a chance to shine since his introduction in Volume 4. But, like, right now, like, Watts is terrifying. Like, I'm legitimately afraid of that man. And he's not, like, big and bulky, and he's not like a fighter like Hazel. He's not like a killing machine like Tyrion, and he's not power hungry like he's calculated, he's methodical, he's smart. Like, he's the fucking smartest man in the room, no matter where he goes. And that's, like, the scariest thing of it all. And, I don't know what this man has, like, he can do a lot of damage, especially if there's only two of them, like, constantly moving. He has such a good way of processing his plan. I really, like, I'm smitten over Watts right now, if you can't tell. But yeah, they make their way, and, I love that they are immediately met with well, first off, we see Penny again, which I'm really, really happy that Penny has become far more relevant in the last 2 episodes than she's been in the entire series, right? Like, Volume 1, she shows up, it's her introduction, she's quirky, she's a little weird, and it's obvious because she's a robot, but it's, you know, and then in Volume 2, I think Volume 2 is where she got, like, the most, like, development, if you will. Like, we found out, like, her, like, what she actually is confirmed, you know, and like, just basically seeing the relationship between her and RWBY and everything that's happened. And then Volume 3, she comes back into the picture, and then she dies. You know what I mean? Like, she really didn't have much time in Volume 3 to really give more to her character. And now that she's back, you know, we saw the brief reunion in the last episode, and this episode, like, the fact that she got a lot of voice lines, she was very present in every scene that she was in. I don't know, it felt very refreshing. It was really weird too. Like, I was just, I don't know, you guys will see the reaction tomorrow. I was so, like, every scene that Penny was in, I was just so giddy. I was just like, oh my god, I love you, Penny. You're so adorable. I can't believe you're back. And then we see Winter, like, officially finally see her and Ironwood for the first time in years. And I really, really, really love, like, sibling moments, right? I'm an older brother to a lot of siblings. I'm a younger sibling to my older sister, but I'm more of an older sibling than a younger one. And so, like, I really, really love the Schnee sisters. Like, I really didn't like Winter when we first got her in Volume 3 because, like, like, first impressions were a lot for me. And, like, I see her, like, yelling at Weiss and smacking her. Like, obviously, she, like, silence you, boob. You know, stuff like that. And I'm just like, you're literally worse than she was in Volume 1. Who the hell do you think you are? Where do you have the right? You know what I mean? And then we see episode 4, and it's, like, the toughest, most wholesome older sister who wants nothing but the best for her younger sister. And like I felt like I ate it up, and I've loved it ever since. And then seeing it in RWBY Chibi was great. Like Winter's introduction in Chibi, when like everyone else is like hanging out with people and Weiss is just standing there all alone and sad, and I'm like, no. And then Winter shows up. I'm a sucker. I'm an absolute sucker for moments like that, for things like that. And to see these two was so worth the wait, especially, you know. Weiss is obviously best girl. Fight me. And it's like I'm shafting Ironwood right now because it's like we saw him too, you know what I mean? Like, but it was always clear that we were gonna see him again. But the fact that we saw Winter last in Volume 3, 2 episodes, right? We got hints of her existence in Volume, what was it, Volume 2? You know, Volume 1, when Weiss was like, RWBY, I always wanted bunk beds as a kid. And we never knew she had a third sibling, but and then in Volume 2, it's like, oh, your sister Winter might be here. And then we see her in Volume 3 for 2 episodes. 2 episodes, and then it's like, okay, we'll see you in 3 more years. And then they debated us in Volume 6. Everyone thought we were gonna see Winter at the military base, and then it's this short nobody character who is annoying, and Ironwood probably wanted to get rid of her. So I love, if you can't tell already, I absolutely loved seeing Winter again. I loved the fact that they both embraced. They haven't seen each other a while. I love the fact that she was immediately threatening. She was like, you guys have 10 seconds to take those cuffs off my sister before I start hurting you. And then there was Ironwood. Nah, in all seriousness though, like, I loved this. I like Weiss and Winter has been long overdue, Winter especially. Elizabeth Maxwell's back in the picture. The one thing that I loved the most about this scene, about Winter in particular, was when she says to Weiss, what were you thinking? She says that in the exact, like, if I didn't know any better, I would say that it was an exact, like, data bite. Like, the same exact data delivery that she gave to Crow in Volume 3. Like, after, like, they went and talked after, like, fighting in the courtyard. It's like, what were you thinking? Like, you could put both of those audio files side by side, and it's so crazy how consistent she is, even though it's been so long. And I know, you know, she's still kept up with Winter and Chibi, but I heard that, and I was like, oh my god. That's literally, like, Volume 3 Winter I'm hearing right now. But yeah, it's great to have Elizabeth back. I hope we see Winter as much as possible. You know, and I expect Winter to always be by Ironwood's side, which hopefully that means Winter and Iron, like, they'll have shared screen time. I really hope we get to see more of, I hope we get, like, a one-on-one moment with Winter and Weiss, especially after what happened with Weiss leaving, especially after with Weiss leaving her family. Like, what I really want to know is the initial reaction once Jacques realized, where the hell's my daughter? You know, is Klein okay because Klein helped her break out? What is Whitley like now in the time that it's been since the end of Volume 4 to the beginning where we are now? You know, there's just a lot. And then obviously Winter coming back to the kingdom, you know, has she been in touch with her family since then? What was, you know what I mean? Like, what did she find? Like, how did she feel about Weiss like finding out that Weiss wasn't there when she got back? I don't know. There's a lot of things to look at, and a lot of things that I really hope they tackle and address. Winter! Oh my god, thank you for the $20 donation. I arrived just in time. Yeah, I was talking about it a little while beforehand, actually. I've probably been on like a 10-minute rant at this point, or a 10-minute tangent, but thank you. Thank you so much for joining. Yeah, it's like I summoned you here. It's like I'm talking about Winter and you're just like, I feel a disturbance in the force, and then you just showed up. It's like I knew someone was talking about me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Glad to have you in the chat. Appreciate it very much. Hey, Arnold, happy to be here, but I'll only be able to donate once tonight. No, not a problem, Autumn. I appreciate it. I'm commissioning a RWBY cosplay that got me broke. Well worth it. Oh, really? That's really cool. That's awesome. Hopefully it comes out well. Is it like a volume 7? Like what kind of RWBY Rose cosplay? Because you got like volume 1 outfit, volume 2 outfit, volume 4 to 6, volume 7. There's so many different... God, there's so many freaking outfits for these characters now. I just stopped and thought about that. What the people of Mantle and Atlas need to understand is that Atlas needs Mantle just as much as Mantle needs Atlas. Being divided is what Salem wants. That's true, but at that point, what you're basically... not what you're saying, but how I interpret that is like, well, Atlas needs Mantle and Mantle needs Atlas. As of right now, Salem isn't really doing much to contribute to that divide. At least I don't think so. I think that just comes down to them as a society, like them as a kingdom itself and their bad blood and their history. You know, you have to also remember Mantle used to be the Atlas of its time, and then Atlas came through and was like, see ya, by the way, we're going to take all your resources and, you know, we're going to have a party up in the clouds while you guys are down below suffering. It ultimately works in Salem's favor because the more Ironwood pushes them down, the more that they're going to resent him, even though he's like, you know, you can hate me now, but thank me later. You know, that's not going to make the overall situation better, especially when it comes to his plan. So yeah, I understand that that's what they need. They need to live a symbiotic mutual relationship, and right now it's a parasitic relationship. Atlas is getting everything from Mantle, and Mantle's getting not even the fucking table scraps. They're getting like breadcrumbs at this point. So it's really on Atlas to kind of change their... I mean, it's on both of them as well, but Mantle's losing out more than Atlas. So I don't know. That's my take on that take. But yeah, ultimately, long story short, great to see Weiss and Winter interacting again. Obviously, Ironwood. I have a lot of stuff to say about him in particular, but I'll wait until I'll transition right now so we can get into that. Also, I talked about this in the rapid fire review, but I really like Gravity Dust. I think Gravity Dust is my favorite type of dust. And I think this device, like the Gravity Dust Gravity Dust cuffs, really kind of solidified that for me. There's just been so many different uses of this dust that I don't know. And I feel like they can do so much more with it and take it to like so many different levels. And for all the other dust that we've seen, it's just been a very basic way of using it. I don't know. That's all I can really say on that, but I really liked how they used the Gravity Dust here. And like, I obviously clipped this animation because I was like, oh, that's kind of cool how they kind of just retract and they just chill there. It'd be cool if they gave those to Team RWBY. Like, hey, you guys can hold on to those and use them in the field if you want. That'd be such a cool arsenal. I really hope Nora gets like Gravity Dust grenades or something. Like she like throws them and then like they explode and they kind of do like what Weiss's glyphs do. Like they suspend the enemy in midair or something like that. That'd be awesome. Because everyone's getting upgrades. I don't know if everyone's going to get like an upgrade to their weapon necessarily. Some might get outfits. Some might get weapon upgrades. Some might get both. Oh my god, a gravity hammer? Oh my god. Yo, they literally pull a Halo 3. Oh my god. That would be so badass. Because I just watched Red vs. Blue, like seasons 9 and 10, like over the summer, and you know, they put work. Oh my god, Carolina put so much work in with the gravity hammer. It's so bad. It's so awesome. They need to do that now. And that would be in and of itself a reference to Red vs. Blue and Halo, since Red vs. Blue is basically a reference to Halo, like with a lot of all the assets that they use. Oh my god, yo, if someone on the RWBY is watching this, can you just do me a solid? Can you give Nora a gravity hammer, please? Yo, that'd be so sick, man. That'd be so awesome. Yo, if gravity hammer happens, I'm taking credit for that. Oh, God, I didn't even think about that until now. That's so awesome, man. Anyways, with my fanboying out of the way. Oh, my God, this fucking plan, dude. Oh, this plan. This plan, man. A lot of things to talk about. Oh, man. So first and foremost, I found it incredibly ironic, once all the introductions were out of the way and stuff, I found it incredibly ironic that Crow is surprised that Ironwood told Penny and Winter about the maidens. When he gave his reaction to Ironwood was the same reaction that Lionheart gave Crow about Crow telling them everything, telling the kids about everything when they went to Mistral. And I'm just like Crow, you literally did the same thing like 2 volumes ago. What are you talking about? So I found that like really kind of hypocritical. I'm like what the fuck? Like, hello? You literally did that, and then I don't know. Yeah, he was like, he's like, I already filled it. He's like, you told them? Like, what do you mean you told them? And then Crow's like, you told them? I'm like, am I in the Twilight Zone right now or something? Like, why is he surprised? Why would it be okay for you to do that, but not Ironwood, who's one of Ozpin's lieutenants? I don't know. It wasn't like, it didn't rub me the wrong way. I just found it really funny, like, bro, you did that like 2 volumes ago. What are you talking about? But yeah, I was very surprised that he told them. Like, I'm surprised that I was surprised, but I was surprised that he told them. Maybe it was just because it was Penny that he told. I was like, I could understand Winter. But I was just like, why tell Penny? You know what I mean? And another thing that really, I don't know, it's just like something that kind of, I don't know, I'm a little off by it, is just the fact that I find it really odd that Penny is the daughter of Pietro, and like being the daughter of somebody and being the protector of the lower city, that's another, another privilege that she has, or maybe something that she wants to do to kind of do her part and help out people. But I find it really odd that Penny is always by Ironwood's side. Like Penny is Ironwood's like secret weapon, and it's like he has to have like his ace in the hole like with him at all times. It's kind of like, yeah, she has like 2 dads, and like it's the weekend, so she's visiting this dad. It's like, all right, I'm gonna go visit my other dad for a week. I'll see you next week, Pietro. You know what I mean? It's just like a shared custody agreement between the two. But yeah, I to the point where he even told her, and it's obvious, I think anyone can trust Penny. It's just a matter of, hope she doesn't get hacked and have that information leaked. So many things can go wrong with this plan, dude. I also found it interesting that Winter mentioned the Winter Maiden and didn't realize that you know what I mean? It's like, that's like a meta joke right there, because your name is Winter and you're referring to the Winter Maiden. I don't know. It's kind of like Summer and Summer Rose, Summer Maiden, Summer Rose. I think that's why a lot of people thought that, like, oh, Winter Maiden, Summer Maiden. But yeah, I just thought that was an interesting little meta joke there between the conversations being had. So we got the confirmation we got 3 out of the 4. Well, actually, yeah, all 4 relics have been referenced or mentioned in one way, shape, in some way or another. Obviously, the Relic of Creation we have. The Staff of Creation is currently in the vault. Last volume, Salem mentioned the sword beneath shade, the sword beneath Vacuo's Academy shade, and RWBY mentioned the Beacon Relic in volume 5, where he was like, oh, I made that one a bit more difficult to find. So all 4 relics are kind of like out there now. Like we have like an understanding to an extent about each one. The swords in Vacua, which is most likely where we're going to be going after this. And then we're going to take a full, oh God, like the final arc is going to be such a gut-wrenching heart. It's going to be gut-wrenching. It's going to be so emotional going back to where this entire show started. We got to circle all the way back around, come back full circle to Beacon, where everything started, to Vale and Beacon, and the food fight and the first episode and the dance, and all those emotions are just going to start flooding back in, where Yang lost her arm, where Blake got stabbed, where Penny died, where Ozpin died, where Amber died, like so much stuff. The bully arc with Jean. Like, there's so much that's going to come back around full circle and just hit you. And it's even more so based on how Rooster Teeth is going to go about doing that. I have, like, my own little, like, sense of how it would happen. It'd be cool if, like, they walk through Vale or walk through Beacon and you just hear, like, toned out, like, audio of, like, past moments that have happened.
Weiss' mom is the Winter Maiden. By not a spring chicken chrome and an alcoholic. Also, Ironwood is going to snap by the end of this when he learns about Salem and B.O.'s pin/Oscar near to death, and Watts will broadcast it to the world.
Oh boy. Like a fight club? No, I think he meant, so first off, I don't think it's Weiss's mom. I think not a spring chicken, like stable condition, not a spring chicken just means you're not as young as you used to be. It's basically saying that they're really, really old. And so this person is just incredibly elderly. And they're in stable condition to make sure that they don't die and their powers goes off to somebody else. I don't think it's Mama Schnee. If Weiss has a grandmother, I don't think it would be her either, because that would be Winter's grandmother, and it would be interesting for Winter to not tell Weiss, hey, our grandmother's this Winter Maiden. It could just very well be like an old side character that no one really needs to know any significance to, because who really was Amber? Who really was Vernal besides... Well, Vernal wasn't the Maiden, but we were led to believe she was the Maiden until the last minute. So, like, those characters... I feel like the Maidens, for the most part, aren't really going to be these relevant characters, aside from the fact of, like, hey, your powers are relevant, but not really you. And I feel like all the current Maidens are going to die, so their powers can be transferred to either Cinder or Salem by the end of everything. Arnold, did you not notice Winter's hesitation? Oh, did she hesitate? That's your answer, by the way. No, I didn't notice that she hesitated. I just noticed that, like, Penny was like, the vault, the relic is secured safely in the vault, and the Winter Maiden is secure. She's in stable condition. Yes, the Spring Maiden was definitely a chicken. Oh, get it? A spring chicken? Oh, okay. It took me a while. I finally got the joke. Huh. Well, someone mentioned it. Dylan, I'm not even going to say your last name. I'll just say Dylan S for short. I know Nora's supposed to have, like, they teased or they mentioned, or Sam Ireland mentioned something along the lines of, like, Nora is expected to have backstory. I don't know about if it, in this arc. So it's, there's a few theories that she's from Atlas, and so he just said it'd be interesting if Nora's grandmother, if Nora had a grandmother or even a mother, just really old. Yo. Oh my God. I just thought of something based on that. Holy shit, Dylan, you're like the MVP right now. What if that is true, right? Because, like, what if, oh my God, what if either Nora's mother, let's just say Nora's mother or Nora's grandmother, let's just say Nora has family somewhere in Atlas, right? That's where she's from. We don't need to explain how she got to where she was in Kuroyuri. Let's just say that's that, okay? Let's just say that what if Nora was abandoned by, like, her mother, for example? Let's just say her mother is the Winter Maiden. She grew old, and now she's, like, elderly, if she were to die, her power would and if she was aware of her powers and was aware of like the dangers of having these powers and knowing what would happen to her if people found out about it, and she casted her daughter away, so when she died, her power wouldn't go to her daughter, which would be Nora, and thus Nora wouldn't be hunted down by Salem, her cohorts, or people who just wanted that unimaginable power. It's very far-fetched, but that's the first thing I thought of. I was like, why would it be Nora? And then I was like, wait a minute, Nora got abandoned. What if it wasn't all for naught? What if she got abandoned for a good reason? What if it was because, hey, it's fucked up. It's kind of almost like a Raven and Yang situation. It's like, I'm gonna cast you away so you have a better life. But like, what? Nora definitely didn't have a good life. You know what I mean? Like, Yang definitely had a better life than Nora did. You know? It would mean that she cared about her daughter, but I don't think, like, with years of being apart, you know what, how old was Nora in Kuroyuri? Like, what, like 10, 12, I don't know. No older than, like, 10, at the very least. So, yeah, she would care, but, like, Nora would be the immediate thing you would think of if it was the case of... I mean, yeah, it's a bit of it's a mixed bag. It's a crack theory. It's not something that I've been up all night. I just literally came up with this on the spot. I'm just saying, out of sight, out of mind. For some people, you're out of sight, you're out of mind. I don't think about you when you're not around. And for Nora, that would probably be something that would prevent her from getting the maiden powers from someone who would be significant in her life had she stuck around. Yeah, we don't know if she was abandoned either. We don't know anything of her life. Nora herself has never even, like, opened up about that. Like, we know how it happened for Ren, but even the kids in Kuroyuri, they said something along the lines of, like, where did she come from? She's dressed all weird. So it's just, like, even her attire was something that wasn't common in the kingdom itself. Like, she dressed differently from the kids. She looked different from the kids. And, like, especially now, her Volume 7 outfit seems more Atlesian than ever. Especially, I think maybe it's the colors especially, but... I really do think, like, that is kind of, it harkens to maybe this is where she came from, and maybe they're going to explore and talk about that a little bit this volume, or this arc, you know, for however long we're going to be here, because we don't really know much about, like, we know Nora and Ren's lives are intertwined, but even then, it's like, well, what about, like, Nora existed before she came into contact with Ren, so what's up with that, you know? She wore city-like clothes, yeah. You know, and they weren't like regal or anything like that. You know, she wasn't a Schnee exactly, but, you know, she could even be from Mantle, not necessarily even from Atlas. But yeah, crack theory, I don't know. It kind of got my brain juices flowing. Thank you for that, Dylan. Appreciate it. that was actually a really good, I don't know, just like a one-off comment that you mentioned. Hold on, give me a second. Okay, so really quick, guys. Your boy has to go to the bathroom because I just went through a bottle and a half of water. We're an hour and a half through. Hopefully, fingers crossed, when I come back, we'll pick up the conversation because we got a lot to talk about with this fucking plan. I'll tell you that much. But I'm gonna play some music for y'all, and I will be back in a couple minutes. Yeah. All right. All right, I'll just switch to the next frame here because this is the next thing we're going to be talking about. All right. All right, I'll be right back.
Keep dreaming about a better world. You keep wishing for some clarity. Always hoping that a lightning bolt is gonna save you from this gravity. You're holding out for some romantic life. Maybe you'll wake up in a world of charm. Oh, but what's in can set you free. You don't have to dream. dreaming about a better world. You keep wishing for some clarity, always hoping that a lightning bolt is gonna save you from this gravity. You're holding out for some romantic life, maybe you'll wake up in a world of charm. Oh, but what's in can set you free. You don't have to dream. Your life's a masterpiece. If you just believe, then all you see is all you need. Right now your hopes are shattered, just pouring the sand on the rafter. But in time you'll find through love your power just shines. When you don't know where to turn to, and you're sure all hope is gone. When the day you waited for won't come, and dark won't yield to dawn.
Trust love.
Open up your eyes. The truth is there, but sometimes
Guys, stop spamming F, please. I don't want to start banning people. All right. Did you memorize it? Yeah, I know the lyrics. I sung the whole song in the by the second episode. I had all the lyrics down. You guys will see it in the reaction tomorrow. Oh, I feel so much better. Okay, we're back. I hope you guys enjoyed that little intermission. Dude, you scared me. Oh boy. Yeah, please guys, don't spam F. Like, yeah, I mean, I don't want to start like having mods like time people out or getting rid of people in chat. You know, it's a haha tee-hee, we got him good, but like realistically, I don't want people using F in chat unless it's unless like my stream is actually crashing, you know. All right, let's see. Let's see. Glad to make it to the stream, Crunchy Chris. Love the alliteration. Thank you for joining the stream. Appreciate you being here, bud. All right, let's see. All right, picking up where we just left off. We got this. Okay. All right, so following up from that, he explains like, yeah, okay, you know, we got the maiden secure, the relics in the vault, everything's good. You know, I'm kind of doing all this stuff to basically protect our people. And like everyone just calls him out on it. It's like, well, why the hell are you doing this? The people have made, like, you're fucking over these people's lives. Like, these people are like downtrodden, like they're on their last leg. And even Yang's like, yo, yeah, like everyone just hates you. And Ironwood's just like, they'll thank me later. And I'm I guess it's just a leadership kind of thing. Like, obviously you got to make the tough calls. But I think about that, and I think of Ozpin as well, where Ozpin just decides, like, I know what's best for people. They don't know what's best for them. I know what's best for them. And, you know, that doesn't always mix. That doesn't always mesh well. You know, Weiss especially was very vocal about that last volume, where she was like, I'm getting really sick and tired of people deciding what's best for me. And you know, even Ozpin saying like, yeah, the people of Mistral deserve better than the truth, because if they knew the truth, there'd be widespread panic. And guess what Ironwood's trying to do? That exact thing that Ozpin has been trying to prevent. You know what I mean? Like, he's kept her back. He's kept her at bay. But that's better than dying. You know what I mean? It's like, Ozpin's the only, like, you know what I mean? Like, you guys are going to be dead. If you guys don't defeat Salem now, guess what? You'll be dead, and there will be a new group of people that'll be picking up the slack. You know what I mean? And I feel like as of right, like, obviously they don't want to be, they want to be the change. You know what I mean? They want to break the cycle. I don't know. It's hard because I look at Ironwood in this situation, and I look at Ironwood throughout his entire involvement in the show, right? Volume 2. You know, one of the first things he says to Ozpin, he's like, oh, why did you bring your whole kingdom, your whole army here? He's like, well, concern is what brought them here.
We're not here for your money.
This episode made me wonder what caused Watts to join Salem. That and how he casually strolls through Mantle and mucks up everything was chilling.
Yeah, there's a lot of things to. I'll definitely get into the conversation with Watts towards the end of the episode, but yeah, I definitely want to know Watts' motivations as well. It probably comes down to just not being credited on something or being disgraced on something while everyone else gets praised. Or maybe, I don't know. It probably just comes down to the levels of like the science, like just his scientific method of doing things, and maybe he went beyond ethics to, you know, for the sake of Atlas or whatever the case might be, because he's dubbed disgraced, so he definitely did something that didn't vibe well with others, and for that he was ostracized. I wouldn't even be surprised if he was like excommunicated from, like, banned from the kingdom itself. You know what I mean? And so I can definitely see that angle for Watts in particular. You know, disgraced Atlesian scientist is really all we can go on, but basically being disgraced means he got shafted. You know what I mean? Someone threw him under the bus or something happened. He got blamed for it or whatever the case might be, but he definitely feels like he got screwed out of something. And we'll eventually find out what that something was. But yeah, so here, like, everyone's kind of just against him, and I feel really bad because, again, going back into the whole... I'm really surprised that Ozpin didn't show up after the plan was explained. It kind of makes me think he's plotting something behind the scenes. He's really, like, I just really hope he's not being petty, right? And I don't think he is being petty. He's giving these kids what they need. Experience, perspective. You want to judge me? You want to judge the things that I've done? You want to call me a liar? You want to say that everything I've done was for naught, that I'm the worst thing to happen to you? Okay, then I'm gone. Do a better... And I don't think he's saying, like, do a better job. Like, I want to see you do a better job. He's honestly giving them the reins. He's not here. They know what he knows. You know, they have all of the information that Ozpin knows as of right now. Like, clearly, obviously, they're learning as they go. They're learning about the relics. They're learning about, like, who's the maidens, and they're learning, you know, they're building a game plan. But ultimately, the biggest thing they know, Salem can't be destroyed, and they have to find a way to stop her. And that's the biggest thing that Ozpin doesn't want anyone to know. So what Ozpin's doing is he's letting them play the role of Oz. They are now Ozma, and they have to make the calls that they're judging him so severely for, and maybe that'll give them some perspective to really think about what they said to him and how they treated him, because they almost made it seem like it's all his fault. You know? And, you know, it comes down to morality. Like, nobody does... Everyone in this chat has lied in their life. Be it a fib, a little white lie, or a really big lie that blew out of proportion, and I don't want to say anyone's ruined people's lives off of a lie, but, like, lying isn't, you know, it's... There are some people that lie just for, like, just because, like, they're bad people or whatever, or they just want to, you know, get ahead or pull the wool over someone's eyes. I don't think anybody in this show that is lying, that isn't a villain, is lying for bad intentions. You know, no one here is like, they'll never figure me out. You know, like, no one's saying that. No one's doing that. And Ironwood's not doing that. And I keep going off on this tangent, so I'm going to try to get on task. Also, William, thank you so very much for the $50 super chat. Regarding Ironwood's plan, I theorize that when James reveals everything, many people will flock to his side to fight Salem. However, I do firmly believe that many, if not more, will side with Salem, believing her to be a goddess similar to Tyrion. Yo, it's a can of worms. It's a can of worms. And again, I'm trying to, like, not go off track, but thank you very much, Will. I appreciate that super. No! I'm trying to get my thoughts across, people.
Part of their journey without any proof of their wrongdoing. Ironwood has basically proved his shadiness. If Ironwood learns the truth, worst case scenario, he does what he did to Mandel, but on a larger scale.
All right, I will get to that in a minute, Ghost Pegasus. I appreciate the input. I appreciate your donation. I very much do. I'm just trying to get my thoughts out before I forget it. So, Ironwood has been very human since this show has started, right? Everything he does is he just wants to protect people. He wants to protect people. And I think I think I even let my anxiety of like, holy shit, like the trailer especially and everything. Like, the trailer definitely felt more ominous than what it's actually projected to be now, because now we got the speech that was given in the opening from Ironwood, and you know what I mean, like that the trailer definitely made it feel more like a dooming, like a gloomy kind of situation. We didn't really know his demeanor or how he would respond or how he'd react to seeing them again and sharing his plans, but he was very open and honest. You know what I mean? He's not over here saying, you know what I mean? Like, he literally, like, if I was him, I don't even know if I would be able to tell them that I was going to tell the world about Salem. Because that's some, like, next level, like, crazy bullshit. Like, what do you mean you're going to tell people about Salem? You know, but even ever since Volume 2, you know, he's like, concern is what brought them here. I'll do whatever I can to help. I want to protect the people of Remnant. And even after everything that happened with Ozpin, you know, he's kind of shouldering his responsibilities. He's like, all right, I can't protect the world, but I can protect my people. And at the very least, I can prevent things from getting worse. I will restrict dust. I'll put a dust embargo in play so people aren't killing each other with dust, you know, and getting it from us. And if anyone wants to, like, pull the trigger on us, we'll be ready to defend ourselves, because you know what I mean? Like, he doesn't really even know the scale of what Salem's capable of. You know what I mean? I don't even think he's ever even seen Salem, to be honest. So I really feel like Ironwood has been very human. You know what I mean? Yeah, that you know, he has a heart. You know what I mean? And he's the Tin Man, and the Tin Man's, you know what I mean? He's a reference to the Tin Man, and the Tin Man's whole thing was like, you know, he doesn't think he has a heart, and he's too cold, and he's too, you know, abrasive with certain things. You know what I mean? Like, at least with Ironwood, I feel like that's what it comes off as. But Ironwood still has a heart, even though he's projected to be the Tin Man. And so I think that's what's happening right now. I'll be completely honest with you. I don't really think Team RWBY should have all that much of a reason to not trust Ironwood. Like, realistically, like, okay, it might look bad, but Ironwood just explained why he's doing all of this, why he has the dust embargo, why he has the borders closed, and he explained his plan to you. What reason would you have to go against him and lie? And that's that's like a genuine, legitimate, like, I'm not trying to be like sarcastic or condescending, but like, I really don't know why they wouldn't trust him. And so, as you know, as the conversation goes on, you know, so first off, I'm actually really happy that it turned out to be true that. And we talked about this last week too in the opening, because you see Amity Coliseum in the opening when Ironwood's in his office, and then you see it again at the very, like, the last frame before the Relic of Creation. And Amity Coliseum was there, and I was like, dude, it's gonna be important some way. I obviously I didn't know how, but I was like, there's no way Amity Coliseum is in the opening and it's not going to be relevant. I thought it was going to be like a super weapon or something, like a freaking massive, like, laser cannon that they were going to shoot into the Dragon Continent to, like, obliterate Salem or whatever the case may be. It's a lot different, honestly, and it's clearly a means of fixing the mess up of the CCT network, which is built by Atlas. Like, it was Atlas's gift to the world after the Great War. That's what Weiss mentioned. And the CCT, I think, mentioned that too. So, like, global communications, that was a gift to the world of, like, hey, GG boys, you know what I mean? Like, water under the bridge. Let's start anew. Let's become closer. Let's maintain contact. And then it was kind of like world spread, and then the scrolls came into effect, and, you know, basically it's like the internet. It's like Wi-Fi, you know, and Wi-Fi to an extent. And so now he's kind of like, he's got a new plan. He's like, yo, remember that tower? Well, we realized this is the funny thing that I was like, really? He was like, what did he say? He said, what did he say? He was like, oh, after Beacon Academy fell, I realized our tech was outdated. You think your whole infrastructure was up to par in realizing its major flaws? If one of the towers goes down, the whole network goes down with it. It was only after that happened that he foresaw, like, yeah, that was a lapse in that was a major error on our part. The greatest military power in the world. I don't know. I just found it, like, really funny. He was like, wow, I can't believe it took him the fall of Beacon. You know, and even now it's still outdated. But I mean, this is at least a bypass. This is ultimately a bypass. He's like, okay, well, we're we're going to revamp the network off of a satellite instead of off of like landlines, essentially.
I think RWBY was the least judgmental of us. If anything, I think since they was young and still aware of the stakes, they didn't ever expected someone as trustworthy as Ironwood would intentionally cause panic.
I think RWBY was the least judgmental. I mean, I think so too. Like RWBY at that point, RWBY just asked the question. She was like, how are you going to defeat Salem? And he's like, I don't know. And Crow was really the last, like the straw that broke the camel's back. He was like, you're the worst thing that ever happened to me. And he's like, all right. He's like, deuces, and then he just left. I do think that, like, while yes, Ozpin is kind of giving them a life lesson here, it's a little irresponsible to do that as well, realizing like, okay, well, we have, you know, it's Ozpin, Crow, Ironwood, you know what I mean? Like that, oh God, they could do so much more if they just trusted each other, man. If they just were just like, yo, let's put our heads together, let's figure this out, we can do this. You know what I mean? Call in assistance from Vacuo, because that's what they don't want, right? Tyrion said that last volume. He was like, if Ironwood comes to his senses and recruits aid from Vacuo, all hope may be lost. So it's like, that's all you need to do, like, just unite, but it's hard to, you know what I mean? It's just hard to, because it's you don't know what you're going up against. You don't know the scale of what you're going up against. You don't even know if it's possible to win, especially because Ironwood thinks he's got like the silver bullet. You know what I mean? He's got the ace in the hole. Ozpin lived and died thousands of times, couldn't beat her. I'm going to change that. He's partially right in the sense that he's just looking at it from from statistics. It's like, what has always been constant about Ozpin's efforts? He's always kept the truth from people. So if we reveal the truth, maybe the outcome will be different. Also, really quick, so before I jump into like the actual like lie itself, I had to clip this point right here and put it in. I don't know why. Penny is just so adorable. She's just standing there, very attentive, just listening. I don't know. I liked this shot of Penny, and I was just like, I need to put this in here to just emphasize that she's adorable, and I'm so happy that she's back. I was so, like, my reaction will be posted tomorrow at noon, but I was so giddy the entire time. Like, whenever Penny was on screen, I was just, like, giddy. I was just like, oh my God, I'm so happy she's back. Look at her. She's adorable. I hope nothing bad happens to her. But yeah, I don't know why. I liked this frame in particular of her.
Is it weird to say that him on board with Ironwood's plan? By this point, it seems like hiding Salem's existence from the public is doing more harm than good. At least this way she loses the advantage of secrecy.
I mean, does she? What advantage? All right, Cross, I'm not coming at you like directly, but like responding to your question in particular. Salem doesn't have an advantage in secrecy. Salem's immortal. She can't die. Like, she could literally walk into a kingdom and just start slaughtering people, and there's nothing anyone can do about it. She's playing the long con for whatever reason. But like, and she has magic. Like, she has abilities the likes no one has ever seen before in this age. And there's literally like nothing anyone, like, nothing. Nobody can stop her. Based on what the god said, only she can stop herself, and I think the only way she can stop herself is if someone gets through to her. And I think that might be RWBY. You know what I mean? Victory is in a simple soul. I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. I can see like she has the strategic advantage, like no one knows about. If anything, I would say the advantage is that humans don't know that she's alive. Like, humanity doesn't know of Salem's existence, because you think they're divided now. I can understand. Well, here's the thing, right? Because Salem herself said it. When unified by, what did she say? She was like, a smaller, more honest soul. It's true that humanity, it's true that a simple spark could, can ignite hope, breathe fire into the hearts of the weary. Humanity's hope is undoubtedly their greatest attribute. Your faith in mankind was not misplaced. When banded together, unified by a common enemy, they are a noticeable threat. So Ironwood has the right idea here. Unity is a big part in overcoming a common enemy, which would be Salem. But the problem here is, like, you're not exactly on good terms with the world right now. Vale's in shambles. Vale's in shambles. Mistral is kind of recovering right now. You know what I mean? Like, most of their huntsmen are dead because Salem and company kind of went after them and killed all of them. Atlas is fighting amongst themselves and is really not in the best, and doesn't really have the best PR right now with the rest of the world. And Vacuo is literally like survival of the fittest. We'll deal with our life. And they really don't really mingle with anybody else. So Ironwood has the right idea, but he's not executing it in the best way possible. He's kind of just going at it saying, things might not be good now, but they'll get better. I'd rather tell them now than, I don't know. I don't think it's well executed. Yeah, Vacuo is Vacuo, exactly. It's too soon. It's too soon, and I think that's the problem. Like, and again, that probably comes down to his paranoia of like, well, we either do it now or it's now or never for him. And you know what I mean? The council's like a bunch of chickens. They're gonna do whatever he wants. And so I don't even know why I'm still on this penny frame while I'm talking about this. But yeah, I don't know. It doesn't seem right. And here's another thing too. Watts and Tyrion are here. They're already going to be making things. I already think Watts already knows his game plan. He's just going to hack the lower city. He's going to hack he's basically going to take over Mantle, because we found out in this episode, number one, he helped write the code for the security for Atlas's security. And he wants the people to be on his side. He wants the people of Mantle to trust him and everything, but he doesn't even have the he has the audacity to not even update their tech. The same tech, and this is where I'm just I'm annoyed with his level of how much he just overlooks. The same security network that got hacked in the fall of Beacon, the same security that got hacked and got him paranoid at how he's feeling, is the same security that he failed to update in Mantle. And he just never thought to himself, whoever hacked Beacon could hack Mantle. That thought just never crossed his mind. And that's where I think, are you really even trying to protect everybody? Or are you trying to just really protect yourself and the people that can protect, can defend everyone else? I don't know. I feel like that was really... I honestly doubt that that was Ironwood's actions directly. I understand that, but he's the president of this place. He's the general of the army, and he's the commander-in-chief, and he's the headmaster. And I feel and Watts even said, as usual, he was things were updated in Atlas. However, as usual, things weren't touched down here in Mantle. Mantle is not their priority. I feel like Ironwood doesn't really... I feel like I don't know, man, this guy. He says he cares, but then, look at Mantle. How do you care? How can I believe that you care about Mantle when I see the state that it's in? That's why I'm conflicted right now, because it's he says he cares, and I want to believe that he cares, but then when I look how Mantle's being treated, the fact that their security isn't even updated... And that was a big part of why Beacon fell. It's a big part of why Ironwood's responding the way he is and how he feels the way he is. I don't know. It doesn't tell me that he cares at least about those people. Unless someone else is, and the fact is the council's doing whatever he wants. So I feel like he has the pull to really do whatever he wants at this point, and he's still not doing it. Oh, man. So yeah, It's just the simple fact of things like that, like Mantle's not being kept in check, and you got Watts and Tyrion who are here. They're making plays. Like, these two are like I think like having Tyrion with Watts is like the worst thing that could have happened for them, right? Because Hazel's not there to let his anger get out of control if Ozpin's around. Cinder's not there to alter the plans and ruin things. Like, it's Watts and his little assistant. And I feel like that's literally like the best thing that Salem has right now is Watts. And I think Watts is going to be the one that really puts things together. We also don't know, like, in terms of his machinery, like Cinder mentioned, like, oh, go fly back home and tinker with your machine. So he's got machines, like he's got inventions and things like that. I don't think he's a fighter. I don't think we're going to see him like fighting like with a weapon and a semblance and stuff like that. He's going to be using his brains. And in some ways that's more deadly than fighting with like your fists. And really quick, I'm not going to say anything about it just because it's a really good show, but has anyone here seen CW's The Flash? And if you have you seen season 4? I'm halfway through season 4 right now. And
it's hard to tell everyone who Salem is without telling everyone her goal. If mankind knows about maidens and relics, people are going to pick a side, but that could also be to her benefit.
Run, Barry, run. Okay. I'm only halfway through season 10. I'm sorry, season 10, Jesus. I'm halfway through season 4 right now. I think I'm on episode 10 or 11 of season 4. I think DeVoe is a way better villain than half of the speedsters we've gotten in the first 3 seasons. Like, as of right now, I don't know if they fuck him up later, but that's all I'm going to say. Like, you would think after everything that we've seen, after everything that has happened in the show in the first 3 seasons, right? The level of speed, the level of like upgrades and the fights in general and the different metahumans, you would think you've seen it all. You would think it's like, oh, it's only going to go down from here. And then this guy, like Giga Brain, like Galaxy Brain, the smartest fucking dude ever, like, that really opened my eyes to how well a villain can, how much someone can do just by being smart. Just by having someone else do something for them, or just be meticulous in how they get what they want. They don't have to, you know what I mean? They don't have to force it. You know, it's not like, they're not really even forcing it. They're just slowly chipping away at you over time. Oh my God. Like, so yeah, if anyone hasn't seen, I'm not gonna say anything else about that. I just wanted that to be like relevant for people who know what I'm talking about. But basically, I'm looking at Watts the same way that I'm looking at DeVoe right now, which is, this guy's not much. He's lanky. He looks like Waluigi. He's fashionable as fuck, right? He's got like his fur coat and his his freaking Gucci bag and, his rings and stuff, and his Super Bowl rings and all that. And he's just he is so, like, I'm so intrigued by Watts right now. I really hope they don't fuck this up. Like, I really hope they don't fuck it up. But, like, Watts is so fascinating right now, and he's very threatening based on the fact that he walks around Mantle like he owns the place. And he quite literally does now, because he's got the security on his fingertips. You know what I mean? So, like, having them two, Tyrion's just on a field day. Tyrion's just fucking killing random people. I feel like they're meticulous deaths, because, like, in the first episode, they showed, like, the poster of, like, oh, the media, they showed, like, oh, journalists found slain. So I'm wondering if Tyrion's going around killing members of the media, so once shit hits the fan, there's nobody to spread the news to other networks or other places or kingdoms or forms of communication. So Watts and Tyrion are doing their thing. Cinder and Neo are going to come into the picture and are most likely going to stir up some issues. Salem's on the way with her fucking flying Grim. And he wants to tell everyone in Atlas first. He wants to start small. He's like, I'm going to tell everybody in Atlas about Salem's existence. Then once everything is calmed down, I'm going to tell the rest of the world. And we're going to assist people. We have enough of an army to protect the world. We couldn't even protect people from the Vital Festival tournament with half of my army. But I can protect the world with it once everyone knows about Salem simultaneously. I have no idea Like, it's beyond me. It's literally beyond me to understand why he would think this is a good time to do that. Not even if it's a bad idea, because it could be a good idea if it's executed well, but why he thinks now is the best time to do it. Given everything, right? He doesn't know the state of the world. I don't think he knows what happened to Leo. Like, did he mention Leo? Like did they even talk about Leo? Did they talk about, you know, the plans, what's happening with the other maidens? And I don't know. It's right now, it's the world's in a fucking shitty state. And it's like the last thing you want to do. And so we find out the plan. Oh, I love you, Penny. I'm sorry. I did like this moment here between Ironwood and Oscar. Like, and again, this kind of, I'm wavering so much because I want to give this man the benefit of the doubt. Like, I really feel like he's not hiding anything from anyone. He's being open. He's being truthful, honest. He's seeing these people for the first time since the fall of Beacon. You know, and look how happy he is just to know that Ozpin's actually still there, that Ozpin's still alive. You know what I mean? Look at the smile on his face as that brings him. And he's like, my liege, you know what I mean? Like, Ozpin, like, he's like, I understand it's like a kid, but like, he's like kneeling and stuff, and he has like a smile on his face. And I'm just like, fuck, man. And like, Ozpin isn't there. Ugh, my God. What happened to No More Lies and Half-Truths? That's a good question, Yang. What happened to No More Lies and Half-Truths? I'd sure like to know. How did that happen? We don't know. We were in a train crash, and when we came to, Ozpin wasn't there anymore. Oscar's looking at her like, bitch, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, Oscar is just befuddled right now. He's just like, what? Oh, is that, I guess we said we're gonna follow your lead. We never thought you'd be lying through your teeth, but here we are. And it's just like, in this situation, oh my God. I'm literally just about to like have a freaking mental like breakdown right now. And then I like the tense music change, like the tone shifts, like you hear like the music, like the bass drops, like boom, like after she says that. And then Ironwood looks at her like so suspiciously. And then he's like, that's not good. Did he tell you it? And the problem here, one of the things that I feel like is really probably setting Ironwood off is that RWBY keeps interrupting him. Like, he was like, how did I say? Oh, we don't know. Like, didn't even give him a chance to talk. Just like jumped the gun. We don't know. And then he like, well, did he tell you? Oh, he said that it has 3 questions, but they were all used up. And it's just like, RWBY, you're a terrible liar. Like, I know you're lying. But like, because I feel Ironwood's being honest with them, I feel like Ironwood has no reason to believe that they're lying to him. And that's where we get into the discussion. Type 1 in the chat if you think Team RWBY and company is in the wrong. Type 2 in the chat if you think they are in the right. I know that's very black and white for a very gray area topic. You know, it's all about morality. It's all about like what's right. What's the right thing to do? And if you remember too, a lot of 1s in the chat, by the way. Someone put 1.5. You're funny, Alex. And Demon Fire. Okay. Okay, I guess 1.5 is like 50-50. Okay, I can understand that. If you remember in the trailer, the first dialogue that we hear is actually from RWBY, and we haven't heard the dialogue being spoken in the episode in an episode yet, so it might be episode 3 or 4.
I'm not here for your money.
What if that look Oscar gave was actually Ozpin?
Oh my God. Oh my God, that'd be crazy. Oh my, that'd be nuts. Oh my God, that would be nuts. I didn't even think about that. Like, Ozpin could just literally, you know what? I couldn't find the GIF.
We're not here for your money.
Hold on.
Did Oscar seems upset or confused? Is
No,
he worried about
Oscar looks
Ruby
confused.
himself becoming like Ozpin? Keeping the secret from Ironwood while training?
Calm down.
He just looks confused right now.
Oscar clearly isn't happy with the fact that Ruby lies to Ironwood. Ruby and Oscar are clearly gonna have a talk about why she lied. Dojo scene.
Dojo scene 2. Oh yeah, from volume 4. Volume 5, I think it was. Yeah. So have you guys ever seen the gif of the guy who's just like in his chair like laughing? I'm gonna tweet about this after the stream, but I literally that's literally Ozpin right now. That's literally Ozpin just like laughing his ass off, like biting his tongue, just like, oh my god, this is so ironic. How funny is this? I don't know. Oh man, this is so bad. This is like the worst thing they could have done. Like, well, first and foremost, the elephant in the room, the hypocrisy. Now, whether or not you believe she was justified in doing what she did, a hypocrite's a hypocrite no matter how you want to slice it, right? Ozpin told the same lie to Team RWBY about the relic. Actually, just about the relic, right? And that's what really set them off. It's like, you know what I mean? Like, apparently we've been attracting Grimm since we left Haven. You know, what happened to No More Lies and Half-Truths? You know, he lied about the relic attracting Grimm, and he lied about telling about the 3 questions. And RWBY just lied about the 3 questions, but she also lied about Ozpin disappearing, which then means that she's also lying, which then that means that Ironwood doesn't know about Salem and Ozpin's backstory, which then means that he doesn't know that Salem can't be killed, which then means that him saying, we're going to take the entire world to Salem, you know what that says? You know what Team RWBY's doing right now? Like right now, like they literally left the room. They left this conversation, you know, wiping their hands clean, like, all right, you know, job well done. Game plan set. We'll reconvene next week. What they literally just said was Ironwood's going to go and get killed, and we're not going to tell him. They literally just, like, I'm surprised nobody in the room said anything about Salem can't be killed. And Ironwood genuinely thinks she can die. That's the problem here. It's not a matter of whether they lied or not. I can understand why they're like holding their cards close to the chest. They want to make sure everything's on the up and up. They want to make sure that they can trust Ironwood. But especially the longer the episode goes, especially when he gives the relic back and he was like, after what happened to the Aesops, I don't want you to feel like there's any reason why you shouldn't be able to trust me. The only way we win is by working together and being open and honest. I feel so bad for Ironwood right now because, and again, this comes back to, it's a sense of morality. It's like, if you're able to get upset with Ozpin, there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to get upset with Team RWBY. Especially if you feel that their anger was justified last volume. Because now you have somebody who's never done them wrong, who's never really had a reason to lie to them, being lied to. And not everyone really looks like they're on the same page or they're on board. Like, Oscar's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Blake and Yang are looking at each other, and I feel like they're guilty by association because they're not saying anything. And I understand it's because, you know, RWBY will take your lead. It's a very tense situation. You know, let's hear what Ironwood has to say first, and then let's go back and delegate and try to figure out a better approach. You know what I mean? I hope Ozpin isn't in Oscar's head like, why the fuck are they just letting this happen? Why aren't they saying anything? And I kind of got off track a little bit, but RWBY, like the first line that RWBY says in the trailer is, I want to do what I think is best, but I don't know if what's best is what's right. So she's very conflicted with the choices that she has to make. And this comes down to choice. You know, there's been talks ever since like volume 3, you know, ever since volume 3, like was there ever a choice? Does anyone really have a choice? Does Ozpin have a choice? Does Salem have a choice? Did Pyrrha have a choice? Did Oscar have a choice? Do any of the maidens have a choice? You know, RWBY is actively choosing to tell Ironwood these things, and is actively choosing to not tell him certain things. And you know what I mean? Like, that is gonna come back to bite them. I'm gonna say this right now. I'm going to be like, if anything happen, if they don't clear things up and just like be like, hey, Ironwood, you know, it was us breaking the ice. It was us seeing each other again after a really long time. We didn't really know what to expect. We were a little apprehensive to tell you the whole truth and nothing but the truth. But here's the situation. You need to reevaluate your plans because Salem is immortal. Ozpin hasn't been incredibly truthful to all of us. And that's what the fear is. The fear is telling him the truth and his reaction to that truth. Because what happened after Team RWBY found out the truth? They all got pissed off. They got depressed. They almost gave up. And then they kind of snapped back with it. Team Juniper was this very same way. Like, pissed off, angry. Especially because that lie kind of impacted Pyrrha in a way. You know what I mean? They told her just enough to get her on their side, but not enough to really give her the full scope of what she was getting into. And she died never really knowing the truth. You know what I mean? And so after all of that, I'm going to be incredibly angry, furious, livid, if anything happens to anyone because of this lie. Like, if Ironwood gets hurt or dies, if Penny gets hacked or killed, like, if anything tragic happens as a result of them lying and not like, and just like letting things flow, not saying anything, I'm gonna be so angry. I'm gonna be so pissed. I'm like angry right now just thinking about what potentially could happen. You know what I mean? And it all comes back to Ironwood doesn't seem like he really, like, genuinely, like, for me, from a viewer's perspective, it doesn't seem like he has anything to hide. He told them this plan, this outlandish, crazy, like, I would expect Team RWBY to be like, are you fucking stupid? But at the very least, he said what his plan was. You know? And that plan is immediately contradicted by the fact that Salem can't die, and my problem stems from the fact that they didn't tell him that. And the longer they go before telling him that, the worse it's gonna be. I feel like Ironwood is somewhat still a very reasonable person. I could see him being understanding of why they would hold their, you know what I mean? Because it's kind of smart. You don't want to just go in unexpectedly not knowing what to expect of a situation or of a person, especially after how long it's been and the stress that he's been under and all that other stuff. I get that. And I would think Ironwood would be understanding enough to that degree of being like, you know what? I respect the fact that you held your cards. I respect the fact that you waited and kind of, played the field a little bit and just kind of gotta, you know, because it's their first night here too. Maybe after sleeping on it, maybe they'll come back and be like, okay, we need to actually tell him the truth. But if the longer they go without telling him, the more angry I'm gonna get. Yeah, he also said I honestly do think that he never said how his plan was to destroy Salem, right? So that's it's going to be the eradication of humans all over again. You know, they're all going to throw their dust and their bullets and their fire, you know, and their magic and all that stuff. And Salem's just going to like, it's going to be the god of darkness. It's like, oh, this thing, let me return it to you tenfold. Obviously not to the degree of like, you know, worldwide genocide, but it's like she has a lot more to dish out to them than they do of her, especially since she has an endless army of Grimm. That fear and that just the fear of everything and the panic is just an endless swarm. And imagine, you know what I mean? And another thing too, I can't go back to it because it's too far back, but Atlas looks like it's built like on a mountain. And I really hope there's not like another Grimm, like ancient Grimm, like sleeping in that mountain, because this panic is going to make fucking the fall of Beacon look like a minor incident. It's gonna make it literally look like, you know, it's like, oh my God. Like, I'm literally just like, lost in my thoughts right now of just how this can get screwed over 20 different ways. Yang, no more lies, no more half-truths. Me, doubt. Exactly. Like, and no one wants to call out RWBY. No one wants to be the bad guy in this situation and be like, hey, RWBY, why you lying to Ironwood? Because Blake just said, we'll follow your lead. It's like, oh, if she's going to tell that, we got to go with her. We trust her. And she's the leader, you know? And that burden is now on her shoulders. And if anything happens to Ironwood, or if anything happens because of this lie, it's on her it's on her hands. You know what I mean? And so now in my head, I'm thinking, if Ironwood's rallying all these troops. So here's what I think Ironwood's plan is. I think Ironwood's plan was to fix up Penny, give her like a 2.0 upgrade, and have her be the vessel for the Winter Maiden. They have the Winter Maiden currently stable. She's basically she's old. Probably, I don't know when she's gonna die or how close she is to like her natural lifetime ending. But I think they're gonna do with this old woman what they plan to do with Pyrrha, which is transfer her soul or the maiden's powers into Penny. And Penny, like, because Penny mentioned in Volume 2, she was like, one day it'll be my job to save the world. So Ironwood must be banking on Penny 2.0 to use her either as a super weapon herself or to use her as a vessel for the maiden's powers. I don't know if she'll be able to channel that power, or maybe she'll just be able to be used she'll be like a box that the maiden's powers will go into so no one else gets it. And she herself could also just be a really crazy mega super weapon that's always by Ironwood's side and is Ironwood's like ace in the hole for whatever it is that he has planned for fighting someone like Salem. You know? And like in my eyes, I think like, well, if Pyrrha was able to take care of Penny by accident, you better bring your fucking big guns if you think Penny can take down the Queen of Grimm. You know? I love the return of Penny. It made me think of something. If Ozpin was revived by the God of Darkness, then the relic of creation could revive Pyrrha. I don't think that's the case. What I actually wonder, because that's not creation. Like, that's not, like, bringing someone who was alive and then died back to life. That's not creation. Creation is bringing something from nothing. It's bringing something from nothing into something. It's bringing something into existence.
Wonder how they going to deal with Salem if they cannot kill her. You think Ozpin and Salem talk or face each other?
I don't know. I don't know how Salem's gonna be taken care of. It might be a combination of Ozpin and RWBY. You know, talk no jutsu, like the classic Naruto vibes, like talk no jutsu, like, hey, we're gonna talk you out of it. I don't know. Like, I genuinely do not know. Shadow Fox, this is my first time super chatting, so here, keep up the great job. Thank you so much, buddy. I appreciate the support. Thank you. Very generous of you. Pika Rose. I don't know. Let's go to Mantle. Oh, boy. Let's see. Yeah, the talk no jutsu. I don't know. She has to figure it out. And, like, internally, I don't know how Salem can ever internally come to terms with the thousands of years that she's lived and the things that she's done for the sake of spite, for the sake of spiting the gods, and now Ozpin. I don't know, man. I just really, really, really think that this plan isn't the best course of action. And I get it. I get why Team RWBY lied. I'm not upset that they lied. Their lie is justifiable. My problem is they aren't being truthful with Ironwood's plan, and they're letting it happen, knowing that her not being able to be killed means that Ironwood and his forces are going to go into battle, and they're all going to die. And that's going to be on Team RWBY's hands because they didn't tell Ironwood sooner, or they didn't tell him, period. And no one's saying anything. Now, I understand, again, this is their first time seeing them in some time. It's the first night. everyone's high strung. They don't know how to react or respond. I'll give them a couple of days, but the longer it goes on from then, right? New outfits, new mission statement. The longer that they go on and the closer and closer they get to making this satellite, and the longer it takes for them to say something, the more upset I'm going to get, and the more I'm going to have less and less of not remorse. I'm going to have less and less, I'm just going to be less and less lenient towards their actions of not telling him immediately. This can't be good. Like, does anyone think this is a good idea? Like, type 2 in the chat if you think this is a good idea. I think this is like 20 different ways a bad idea. And I feel bad because I like Ironwood hasn't done anything. He hasn't done anything for them to not trust him. First idea is never a good idea. You're not wrong. This is the plan of a desperate man, a man who truly believes that there's no other option. Well, guess what? If I were to tell him, hey, Salem can't be killed, at the very least, he won't send his whole force to get to the slaughter. I don't know the context of this spam. I was just asking if this whole plan is a good idea, like Ironwood's plan and Team RWBY and company's plan to like not tell him the truth. Like Ironwood's plan's a good plan, poorly executed, not the right time, and it's made even worse by the fact that Team RWBY is not telling him what's up. And I think he's suspicious right now. Because what he says after this, after he mentions after she mentions like, oh, the relic is, you know, like the relic, all the questions were used up. And he says, hold on, what does he say? He says, oh, Ozpin told us, what did he say? He basically said, Ozpin told us that same thing once upon a time. And to me, that made it seem like he knew that Ozpin was lying. I don't know. I don't know how he would know if I don't know why, but I don't know. It just seemed like his response to that was like, oh yeah, Ozpin told me the same thing. And now you're telling me the same thing. I don't know. It just seemed like maybe he feels like they're not being completely honest. Also, I'll say this too. If Ironwood is hiding things from them, then it's completely justified for Team RWBY to hide stuff too. But if Ironwood's being truthful and honest, it just feels really bad. I feel really bad for him. But I honestly think he's not lying. I think Ironwood's telling the truth. I just think it's really honestly, I think the idea of revealing Salem existence is just a dumb idea, period. You know, look at Watts and Tyrion. You know what I mean? 2 people in a city of thousands and moving very inconspicuously. I mean, Salem could do the same thing, but does Ironwood even know what Salem look? I mean, I guess anyone looking at Salem would just be like, that's the Queen of Grimm. Oh man, I don't know. This is literally Salem going after the gods and rallying her army and going to the fountain of life and just all of them just fucking dying. This is like that all over again. You know, because he wants to bring the fight to her. Unbeknownst to him, she's already on the way. You know what I mean? So, if anything, I think she's going to make her presence known. Here's the question, though. What's better? Ironwood telling Atlas that Salem exists, or Salem showing up and them finding out that way? You know, because I don't think Ironwood could plead ignorance to that degree. Like, I had no idea that a controller of Grimm existed. You know? So I think that and obviously he doesn't know, but I think from the story's perspective, I guess it makes sense. It would be okay for him to tell his people about this event, because nothing's getting out of Atlas, right? Especially if that satellite doesn't get up before she shows up and like destroys this place, no one's gonna even know what's happened to Atlas. And I wonder if now I feel even worse now, because I feel like they're gonna get that satellite into the sky, and it's gonna fall out of the sky like a fucking meteor into Atlas, which is gonna cause it to destabilize, and then that's gonna fall on top of Mantle. I really think this is like a recipe for fucking disaster. Like, the villains are most definitely gonna win this one. And what really is alarming is, what can the Relic of Creation do? Like, what is creation? You know what I mean? Like what can this like? First off, is there a genie, or is there a djinn? Is there a being within this relic like the genie? Number two, like, how would you define creation in like physical form? You know, knowledge makes sense. It's like, oh, you want to know something? I have the answer for it. But creation isn't bringing the dead back to life. Like, the God of Light has already established that. That's already been established. That's not what creation is. Creation, to me, would be like equivalent exchange in a way, right? What I think would be pretty cool is if the Relic of Creation could be used to turn Penny into a real person. I think that would be an interesting form of equivalent exchange / creation, where, like, Penny already exists, her soul exists, the components that make her a synthetic being exists, but the creation aspect is what truly gives her life. I don't know if they're gonna pull a Nomad of Nowhere, and it's just like, it turns inanimate things, it brings inanimate things to life, right? Like, turns like rocks into beings and stuff like that. I think that would be really cool, because, like, you know, she's already Pinocchio, and Pinocchio eventually became a real boy, so, like, maybe that could work for Penny. You know, Penny could be, but then she wouldn't be this super cool badass robot, you know, Astro Girl. I don't know. The blue staff could be the blue fairy. I don't follow the blue fairy from... How many blue fairies are there? There's like the fairy godmother. She wears a blue dress. There's like the blue fairy from Pinocchio. Oh, the one from Pinocchio. Okay, never mind. Okay, that I'm a little, I don't know. I'm a little, yeah. Let's just go with that. Yeah. But equivalent exchange doesn't start out of nothing. Well, I think that's why, like, the relic is a relic. It can just do stuff. I wonder if there's limitations to its use. I just wanted to, like, what is creation? Like, what does it do? What are its restrictions, its limitations? Can it be, you know what I mean? Like, Jinn can only be used 3 times, so does this one have a 3 limit cap as well? You know, 3 questions every 100 years. I can understand the reference for that, you know, the genie and the lamp. So maybe all of them are different. You know, the Sword of Destruction, I'm pretty sure that can, like, it's like the Elder Wand. It can just kill it's the most powerful weapon ever. It can kill anything, you know? It's just, when I think creation, I just think of bringing something into existence from nothing, or giving life to something that doesn't have life. Those are the only 2 things I can think of right now. Oh, was Ciel Soleil Jiminy Cricket? That would make sense that she'd be paired up with Penny. Yeah, I don't know a lot of my Disney movies. Kaylin wants me to watch, like, a bunch of Disney Plus stuff, because I haven't seen a lot of Disney shows growing up, to be honest. I can't lie about that. All right, let's see. What's the next shot here? But yeah, I mean, we just spent like a good half an hour talking about this whole process, man. It's just very problematic in so many ways. And it comes down to the little white lies. It comes down to Team RWBY not being honest, not being upfront about the plan itself. And that's another thing too. Like, they hear his plan out and there's no objections. There's, you know what I mean? Like, Crow even was just like, well, Weiss said, like, but there'll be panic. And they're like, well, Atlas is willing to assist. How quick do you think you can get to fucking Vacuo or Haven from here when you broadcast on a worldwide scale to every kingdom, every settlement, every person in the world? And here's the biggest issue. And someone mentioned it earlier, and I'm glad I'm getting into this point now instead of moving on, is like, you really think everyone's just gonna be like, all for one, one for all, we all gotta fight together? No, there's gonna be people that are like, fuck you, Ironwood. There's gonna be people that are like, okay, we gotta fight alongside them. There's gonna be people that worship Salem like Tyrion. There's gonna be people that are gonna be sympathizers with Salem, gonna want to worship her. Some of them are probably gonna want to join Salem instead. Like, Ironwood is just like too much of a Boy Scout right now to think that world peace will be made whole. World peace will be established if we all realize that there's something, we can all just point our guns at one thing and shoot it at the same time, you know? Yeah, I don't know. Oh, man. Why can't people just tell the truth? I feel like I'm so far beyond lying. Like, so here's the thing. Here's a little Easter egg. Not really a good Easter egg. It's a bad Easter egg. It's not something I'm happy about. But, like, I used to be a big liar as a kid. I used to like lie I put my mother through hell, man. But like as a kid, I used to be just a bad kid at some points growing up, but I used to lie a lot. And obviously like I know about almost everything I lied about and why I lied about it. But at a certain point when you get older, like obviously by my teenage years, like, yeah, I just stopped lying. Like, I'm just like, why the fuck am I lying? What the hell's wrong with me? Why am I lying? Like, as an adult now, I'm just like, why? Like, what's the point of lying? Don't do bad things and you won't have to cover up your tracks. You know? And so I'm just thinking, I'm like, why do you have to lie? Oh my God. Just tell the truth. Why? Why do you have to lie to someone who's being open and honest? Ironwood of all people. Yeah, I know. I'm not saying like I'm better than these people because they lie and I don't. I'm just saying like, you know, Ozpin did the same thing. Ozpin told lies. And here's the thing, like they're not following in his foot. I said that in my reaction. I'm like, they're following in his footsteps. I just meant like for context when you see for anyone who sees the reaction tomorrow, I'm basically saying like Ozpin is taking a backseat and they're filling his shoes. So when they tell a lie and they're going to justify it, that just gives more validity to what everything Ozpin's been doing all these years, you know? And he even says it to them. And this can be, you know, pretend RWBY said this, right? Pretend RWBY said, I have no reason to feel that you should lie to me, but there are things, but there are reasons for the things that I do, the secrets that I keep. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think they have any reason to suspect that Ironwood would lie to them. But based on the gravity and the weight of the information that they know, they probably have a suspicion that that isn't the best thing you want to tell him at this moment. Or at this, you know what I mean? Like, just dropping that on him, especially in this already stressful situation, being like, you know what I mean? Because it'll reflect what happened with them and what happened with Team Juniper and their initial reactions and outbursts to everything that happened. But then again, I feel like Penny and Winter could have easily helped with the situation. You know what I mean? It's not just all on Ironwood and the Aesops too. Like, there's so many more heads in the room now. Just put your heads together and you'll figure it out. It's so much easier than just simply being like, let's not tell anybody because telling them is bad. You know what I mean? So here's just a little minor thing. It's just to kind of give you guys an understanding because I feel like I'm rambling and I can't get the point across. So I went to RTX this year. I went to RTX. I was there for a week, and my two brothers were staying here and just watching the house for me because this was my first time living here and being away from my house for like a long period of time. So I just wanted someone here to make sure that like the house was put together and nothing was wrong. So I was gone for a week and I would call every so often. I'd be like, hey, is the house okay? Is everything all right? And they'd be like, yeah, everything's fine. Everything's fine. I get home and apparently I haven't had power in my house for 2 days and no one told me. And my brothers are younger than me, so they're like one's 4 years younger, one's even younger than that. So I got really upset that they didn't tell me, and the reason they didn't tell me was because they said, you know, they didn't want to tell me while I was at RTX because they didn't want me to be upset or want me to like have to worry about how to deal with it when I got home. But I think I was even more upset that they didn't tell me, and I found out the second I walked through my door versus them telling me so I can plan it ahead of time. You know, so I can know what to do by the time I got home and not figure it out when I got through the door. That's how I feel about this situation right now. They're withholding the truth because they don't want it to hurt when they eventually have to tell them. But the longer you wait, the worse it's gonna be. You know what I mean? So that's the best analogy that I could give you guys right now. Like, I guess obviously it's a bit personal, but that's how I feel like they feel, because I know what that feels like, because I've been in situations like that. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys have too, where you want, you know, there's something important you have to tell someone. You don't want to tell them because you don't want to hurt them, but the longer you do, it's probably going to bite you more than it hurts them initially. Because it's, in a way, it's kind of like you're betraying them even more than whatever it is that you needed to tell them. So yeah. But yeah. Yeah, probably Ozpin here and there. Ironwood and Oscar are smiling in the opening, I'm sure. Yeah, so right here, so basically he explains the whole thing, and he even says, like, keeping the truth about Salem will eventually kill us all. And he's not wrong, but it's all about how it's partially how you execute it, and this is not the best time. Like, this would be like if Ozpin's like, okay, let's bring the 4 relic scale, let's summon the gods back. You're in no condition to do that. And respectively, you know, because bringing the gods back would imply that humanity is unified. Humanity is not unified for you to decide, hey, I'm going to tell them about Salem, and we're all going to come together and fight her together. Like, that's very much on a lesser scale, but the same degree. Like, you're not unified with anybody. You're not even unified with your own people, let alone the world. So yeah, I mean, I think that's really all I have to say about that. I'm not happy about it at all. I can understand both perspectives. This is going to be tough to kind of break down and talk about in my rapid fire review because there's so much to say. Like, it took me like half an hour to talk about this, so I really need to figure out a way of just coherently laying out the rationale, the repercussions, and weighing both sides, like why it's a good idea, why it's a bad idea, why they should lie, why they shouldn't lie, why I feel like it's justified in some respects and why it isn't. It's a big old can of worms, and I'm pretty sure this was a big point of yeah, I know, rapid fire. This is gonna be a pretty dense rapid fire review for sure. I'm gonna probably blitz through everything else and just focus like 5 minutes on just this moment alone, just because there's so much to talk about. But yeah, so moving on from there, long story short, don't tell lies. Give people the benefit of the doubt sometimes, not always, but if they've never, you know, Ironwood's never lied to them, so there's no reason that they should have lied to him. And if they did lie to him, the longer they go without telling him the truth, the more upset I'm going to become as a viewer, because I don't think Ironwood's lying about anything. And if Ironwood is lying about stuff, then fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. And Ozpin, hashtag Ozpin did nothing wrong. All right, moving on. I like this moment. Like I said, again, it's kind of like he's like, oh, maybe we can find a way to bring Ozpin back. And this is kind of akin to the opening, which is right here, of them two sparring. They both have smiles on their face, so it's not the moral is don't lie or bad shit happens. Yeah, there you go. And so I think at this point, he's like, oh, you're going to become the next Ozpin, huh? Well, you got to learn a thing or two. And I'm the Tin Man. I'm half robot. That's another, well, that's not a lie or a half truth. That's like no one's business. But this man's also like half robot down the middle. So, I wonder how that's going to come into play as well with them discovering that fact about Ironwood.
Calm down.
It's not a broken trust fight.
Ironwood Ironwood has officially adopted Oscar as his son. Sorry, I don't make the rules.
Sorry, I don't make the rules. Ironwood has officially adopted Oscar as his son. Yeah, I liked this. I liked the moment he was like, "Thank you, General." Ironwood? "Thank you, sir. General Ironwood?" And I'm just like, the name's James, okay? Now, I'm gonna say in the review, I'm gonna be like, the name's Iron Daddy to you. That's Iron Daddy to you. But yeah, oh my God. Yeah, I think I said that last week. I don't know if I said that. Did I say that last week? Did I mention that, like, I think Ironwood has the potential to be hacked since he's half cybernetic? I don't know about cybernetics, but, like, he's half robot, you know? That'd be like saying Yang's arm can be like hacked or whatever. Yeah, I think I said that last week. But cuz I was thinking about like Watts can hack the CCT, not the CCT. Watts can hack like Penny, and now he might even be able to hack the it just depends if he can get into the newer code, because the only thing that he has to work with is the older code, which is only in Mantle. Hopefully there's nothing of like significant major importance in Mantle that Atlas forgot to like take with them. That's like the ace in the hole for Watts, like some secret fucking terminal with all this crazy information on it or something. Or what if he like blackmails them and like puts out their information on the network, like when the satellite goes up, and just frames Ironwood or frames just random people, or just talks about like, oh, look what's happening in the city of Atlas or the city of Mantle. People are being murdered by Atlas spies or like by Atlesian forces, and they're keeping hush-hush about it while Tyrion's the one that's actually killing everyone and setting them up. God, there's gonna be so much freaking fake news going around. I'm not looking forward to this at all. Yeah, imagine. No, I think the vault is underneath the school, but above the city. Like above, like it's up in Atlas, but it's under the school. Oh boy. This does not instill confidence in me, guys. I'm sorry. But yeah, so they're going to be sparring. I'm excited for that. I wonder if they're like on this random, like, we talked about the intro last week, but I wonder if this is like either like a simulation room or like is it like cause they're in the training room. It's at the school, because Penny talks about that. She was like, oh, this is the cafeteria and this is the training room and these are the classrooms. So this might be the training room, which could probably double for like a simulation room for training under certain conditions. So that this might be where they are right now, which is kind of cool. If Ironwood's telling the truth, man, this is so heartbreaking. He's literally like, after what happened to the Aesops, I don't want you to think I have any reason to not trust you. And for the time being, I think this deserves to be with the person who brought it here. And he gives them the relic back despite them telling him that the relic doesn't work. This is also similar to what happened last volume, because Ozpin told them the relic didn't work and he wanted to have it on his person at all times. And they started questioning. It's like, why does it matter who carries it? And Ironwood could have gone with that same judgment. He could have been like, well, there's no questions. I guess I'll hold on to this then. But this, again, this kind of gives way to the fact that he is trusting of them. I think he gave it back as a test. Some people think that Ironwood already asked a question before they got there. I don't think so. First off, that would be, number one, that would be like the biggest flop of this show, is like you revealed a question, a pivotal moment off screen. No, I don't think he used it. Also, it's still like glowy and stuff like that. We don't really know what happens to it. Like, does it like go dull? Like, does the lights go out when Jin uses all three questions? No, I don't think he's, I don't think he's lying or this is a test. What if he knows like that's not, the questions aren't all used up? Like if it's still like glowing, maybe he knows that there's still questions left in it. I don't know. Also, he would have to know Jin's name. And I could easily believe Ironwood not, I could easily see Ozpin not telling them, similar to how he didn't tell Team RWBY. It's spelled Jinn, but it's a reference to a Jinn, which is a genie, the DJIN. Ironwood already used the relic. He gave it back to RWBY. Would be nothing because the relic is used up. No, I don't think so. I don't think so. First off, he would have to know her name. Second of all, like, what question would he ask of relevance or of importance? Like, what did you tell those kids? Thanks for the wasted question. Jinn flashback, volume 6, chapter 3 all over again. I don't know. But yeah. We also don't know how the relic of creation works. If it works, like, do these relics, like, connect? Like, do these relics... I wonder if I just want to know if there's a being within the relic of creation, the staff of creation, and if they, like, communicate with each other or something like that. I just wonder. Also, what does Ironwood know about his own relic? You know, the relic of creation, like, what properties does that have? Has he used it before? If it's still in the vault, has anyone used it aside from Ironwood? Aside from maybe Ozpin? That's another thing too. We now know, like, we obviously know that Ozpin has used the relics in the past, right? He's like, armed with my knowledge, Ozma seeked out the other relics. So the relic is a staff. Okay, so there's a lamp, there's the relic of creation with the staff, there's the relic of choice, which is a crown, and then there's the relic of destruction, which is a sword. And we know the King of Vale had a crown, which is probably the relic of choice, sword, which is the relic of destruction. He had a scepter, but I think a scepter, a staff, and, like, a scepter, a staff, a wand, like, it's all just a stick with, like, a jewel on it or some type of magical property. So I think while they called it a scepter in the world of Remnant, I feel like it was the same thing. It was the relic of creation. Yeah, a cane, a scepter, a relic, a cane, a scepter, a staff. It's all just a piece of wood with some magical properties. And so I wonder, what would Ozpin have used the relic of creation on or for? The sword, obviously, he just ended the fucking the Great War, like, with just fucking bodied everyone with the sword. But what is there is there anything in this world that we've seen that is a product of the relic of creation? You know, is it why Atlas is so advanced? If that's the case, like, what are you willing into existence? Like, technology? You know what I mean? I know that's what a lot of people have been speculating too, especially since the relics have been brought into existence or have been mentioned in Volume 4, was like, maybe that's why Atlas is the most futuristic of all of them, because they just will these things into existence and they just work. You know, technology and stuff like that. I don't know. Maybe ideas? The vaults, the academies, maybe the relic of creation is what partially made Penny. The vaults are possible. I don't know about dust. Like, the popular theory about dust is that dust is basically just like the crystallization of all the dead people who had magic when they were freaking vaporized rather, by the god of darkness, and over, like, the millions of or thousands of however many years, the millennias, they became dust crystals scattered around the world somehow. Well, around the world, because the whole world was, yeah. Creation is why Cinder can come back 500 times. Oh, man. Is there a fairy tale about an item that creates things at will? I don't know about an item, but I feel like that would be like a... I don't know. I feel like that would just be like a fairy tale in general about something willing something into existence or life. Like a philosopher's stone. Yeah, like something like that. Maybe, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, like I'm just wondering if there's any evidence of the staff of creation since the show has started. Because the relic of knowledge, it's understandable, but the knowledge that we've gotten has been prominent throughout the show. Like for example, like Ironwood, like the Ozpin knows about the relics. He knows where they were. That's how he found them. He knows what their powers do. That's another question that he asked Jin. So like he knows what they do, but we don't know what they do. But have any of them had an effect on the world up until this point? Is basically what I'm trying to say. All right, so moving on from there. He trusts them. They don't trust him. I'm upset about that. I'm so upset about that. And yeah, we're getting new outfits. So I don't know if Pietro's gonna make them exact. I thought initially Pietro would make them. So they're all getting new upgrades. Very exciting. So the thumbnail for next week's episode, Ruby already has like her new outfit and her new haircut. So tomorrow's episode is the new outfits. I don't know if they're gonna do like, and it's also going to be focusing on the Aesop, so most likely it's going to be the episode where they all like do the landing strategy. They jump out of the airship. They're going to be approaching the mines with the Aesops. I don't know how much effort they're going to give into, and they also, I guess I'll save that for the end, but it was about Atlas Academy in general, like the setting of Atlas Academy moving forward. But yeah, I don't know if they're going to spend a whole lot of time like transitioning from the outfits, or if there's going to be any type of character moments between this moment and when we see them again. I mean, I don't think they've never been, to be honest, they've never been very focal about the outfit changes, right? Volume 2, the outfits came and went. They were in for 2 episodes, came and went. Volume 4, everyone just had new outfits, no questions asked. Volume 4, new outfits, nothing asked. And like even now, you know what I mean? Obviously it's a lot more of like a big deal, I think, because their outfits are being drastically changed, and their looks are being drastically changed. You know, Weiss is getting the braid, Blake's cutting her hair, Jean's cutting his hair, Ren and Nora are getting new outfits. You know, Yang and Ruby are also everyone's getting new outfits. Even Crow's getting new outfit. And I don't know. It's like a new beginning. And so I feel it would be odd if there wasn't any time whatsoever given to this transition at all. But at the same time, like, you know, do you really want a slight, I feel like some people do. Maybe people would want it, but I feel like more people would just want the plot to be forwarded. So, I wouldn't mind like a slice of life episode, them going shopping, getting haircut. But at the same time, it's like, yo, you're not here to like pamper yourself. We're here to get stuff done. So, you get an outfit and you get an outfit. Yeah, everyone looks worn and tired because they haven't even slept. Like they just a few hours ago, they were fighting Cordovan, you know, and they were trying to steal an airship, and the Leviathan Grim showed up. Like, this is all still like within the same level of like they haven't slept since that point. And like by the end of it, Nora's like falling asleep on Ren, falling asleep on the floor, and all that other stuff. BRB, I'll respond late to this live discussion of this chapter 2. Okay. Not a beach episode. I mean, that'd be cool if we go to Vacuo and we get like a beach episode, especially since like Vacuo is like a summer desert. I mean, then again, I don't think Vacuo is like exactly like a resort, so I take that back. Let's see. Will there be a time skip? I don't know. It really doesn't. I really don't know. There won't be a time skip of maybe like more than like a few hours. Like, we're picking up the next day. You know, they're all going to sleep. They're gonna sleep in the dorms, and the next morning, boom, you're out on a mission with the Aesops, and you guys are gonna get some new duds. You guys are gonna get some new upgrades. That's the thing, though. Like, can you really give them new upgrades in 24 hours? That's the thing. Like, I wonder if it's really going to be the next day, or if we're going to have, like, a minor time skip of, like, maybe a couple of days for everyone to recuperate, to get their new outfits, to get their new ensembles, and, you know, and then kind of going guns blazing towards the end of the episode. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's Atlas, but I mean, all right, I don't know. I have faith in Atlas, but I don't think Atlas has that Amazon 2-day shipping on high-tech equipment. Like, on demand. Like, they have to make a like, how, like, Jean's getting the shield. That's another thing, too. Like, is everyone getting upgrades to their weapon as well? Blake's getting they're basically attaching the part of her sword that broke off with, like, the metal, I think, of Gamble Shroud, maybe. Jean's obviously seems like he's going to be getting hard light dust infused into his shield. But with the exception of them two, is anybody else's weapon getting an actual upgrade? Like, Yang's arm's going to become more bulkier, and in the intro, it looks like she's shooting, like, a flamethrower out of it, like, actual fire. So I wonder if there is going to be, I wonder if everyone's going to be getting an upgrade. Maybe we just don't see it, because I want that gravity hammer. I want Nora to have a gravity hammer so bad. Like, I never even thought of it until, like, it kind of came together in the discussion. I really want Nora to have a grav hammer now. Especially because I can't say enough good things about about gravity dust and the Nora. Oh, God, I want it so bad now, especially, like, Halo's coming back too. Like, they just announced Reach for next month on Steam. Ren, I don't see Ren getting much of an upgrade. He's probably gonna maybe just be using his dad's knife a little bit more, because it's like tucked into the sleeve of one of his sleeves for his outfit. Crow's just gonna be getting an outfit change. Oscar has the staff, the cane, which he doesn't really know how to tap into that power necessarily. Yeah, Jean is the first character ever to have a sword, and a shield. So he's like a paladin now. But yeah, and then Weiss really doesn't need a new weapon. Like, just give her more dust. Like, Weiss is literally a jack of all trades and a master of all of them, so she just needs a new outfit. So yeah, new outfits for all. So, switching over from that, we get into the Aesops, and I enhanced, like, I blew out this image a bit for those of you who didn't see, but there is an Atlas, like, news board on the back. I don't know. Okay, so let me know which one you can see better, because I have this one, which is the default one, but it kind of looks hard. It's hard to see it necessarily because of the I don't know, the background color they used. They used white for the text, but then they used, like, the lightest fucking shade of teal that they could find, and it just makes it hard to read. So I have this version, and then I have this version, which this one is obviously enhanced, so that way it kind of makes the colors, it makes the text look a bit more readable. But I don't know if it's readable or not. So which one is better, the first one or the second one? The color pattern matches the color pattern makes my eyes hurt. The first one? Okay. Yeah, so it says administration bathrooms under repair. The ladies' administrative bathroom has been flooded due to a decimated, what does it say? A decimated something? I can't even see it well myself. But basically, someone used the girls' bathroom and, toilet. Okay. Due to a decimated toilet. Okay. Some people are typing in number 2. All right, so someone had an eventful evening. Please use the upper barracks bathroom on the floor, on the upper floor for the time being. Repairs are being made. Monthly all hands meeting next Monday. We will be honoring Penny Paulandina, an employee of the month, for all the hard work and going above and beyond in her responsibilities. So yikes. Penny's going to be getting some recognition next Monday. So there you have it. They follow a Monday through Sunday cycle, at least in the same vein that we do. It's confirmed. Also, Nora also mentioned Thursday in Volume 5, like Crazy Thursday. So Monday through Sunday confirmed. I assume they have the same calendar dates as us. Election watch party, which is going to be fun. They also mentioned a character here. What's her name? I can't really see it. Stephanie Santiago. I don't know if that's a reference to anything. Stephanie Santiago. I should have written these down because I could see them better in the episode than I can right. Actually, you know what? Hold on a second. You know what I can do? I know what I can do. Hold on. Pull one of these. Now I can't see it at all. Now it's even further away. Hold on a second. Let's do one of these and one of these and one of these. Yeah, I got nothing. I read it earlier this week, and so there's just a bunch of kind of up-to-date mentions on certain things, which I like this. Again, it's more flavor text to like what's going on in the world and what's going on in the school and the environment. Penny's going to be getting some recognition for being the savior of Mantle and doing all her extra hard work. There's a bathroom that's out of commission, so I wonder how that's going to affect students like moving around from place to place, especially since everyone has their own dorms. There's this woman called Stephanie Santiago. I didn't see the context in regards to, but it's in regards to the meeting, the election watch party. So things are going to be happening relatively soon between Ironwood, Jacques, and Robin Hill. And then there's Culture Crew, which Lord knows what that is. Where in the world is Stephanie Santiago? Yeah, I know. I was thinking about that. Carmen Sandiego or Stephanie Santiago. But yeah, a nice time. Yeah, I like it. It's attention to detail. It's world building, and I like stuff like this. Just like in the first episode when we got the election board, like I just pause and read every bit of text I can to try to put things together. Decimated is worse than out of commission. LOL. Oh boy. Hey, everybody poops. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. All right. So, moving on from there, we have this ragtag group of characters, little characters known as the Aesops, and we finally have the confirmed names for all of them. So, Clover Ebby, we talked about it last week. He's very likely a reference to a fisherman's good luck. You know, his lucky charms, his last name, Ebby, being Ebisu, his fishing pole weapon or his fishing rod like weapon, and everything else. So he's good luck. That's kind of confirmed. So moving on, so it goes in the voice acting. For those who don't know, it goes in the order of the characters speaking. So the next Aesop character to talk was Elm. I struggle so much with pronouncing their last names. Elm Aderne. I don't know if there's like pronunciation on that last name. I'll just say Aderne. Or Ederne. Anyways, Elm. So it's the big lady, and she is quite a strong one. Quite a strong one indeed. She makes a very warm welcome, you know what I mean? Like, she's basically like, I almost kind of want to refer to her as like Mother Gaia. You know, she's like the Mother Earth. Like, Elm is a tree also. Oh, Edernai. It's just Edern. Edern. All right, I got two different pronunciations already. Sorry. Yeah, so I really like her. She was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. If we knew who you were, we'd be laughing over a hot meal." So very, very hospitable, very warm, caring, paternal maybe. You know, she just seems to like be very open and caring and warm to these new characters, and she's very strong, she's very big, she uses a fucking hammer just like Nora does, so she's like a badass. I almost want to say she's like the what's the word I'm looking for? She's like the powerhouse of the team. Like, out of everyone on the team, she looks like she's the one with the most raw power, which is super awesome. And again, it kind of reminds me of like Mother Earth. Her name's Elm, which is based on like, it could be like an elm tree. And I think her name too is a reference to the elm and the willow, so like they're all based on Aesop fables. So there's two fables in particular, two stories in particular that have come up recently. One of them I think was the elm and the willow, and the second one was in relation to Vine. Not that Vine, not like the the now gone social media platform, but I forgot the name of it. I didn't write it down. I have to go back and look it up, but it was basically something along the lines of Elm and the Vine, and Vine Zeki. And it was like a story of like marriage and bonding and like supporting each other, like, but in a marital kind of way. Yeah, Elm and the Vine. Oh, I was right. Okay, yeah. So Elm and the Vine is the other short story that it could be, that they could be based on. So there's no confirmation that these two characters are like husband and wife, like Elm, and Vine Zeki is the pale guy, like the tranquil one, the one everyone calls Zenyatta. So that's what them two could be a reference to, or they could just be polar opposites, where one, like, the girl is just like a powerhouse and just gets everything done with like brute force, and the other guy's more more tranquil and peaceful with how he approaches things. So that was those two characters. Marrow Ammon, I think that's how you say that. Marrow Ammon is the wolf boy, or I should say the tsundere, because, they're talking about, you could have asked us some questions, and they're like, questions are for the weak. It's, we're going to be working with you guys together, but it's not like I care, though. Like, he's like legitimate tsundere to a T. Like, that's literally, and he's a good boy. Yeah, he's the goodest of boys. Like Bone Marrow. Yeah, so he's basically, and he was lying too in that instance, because he was like, it's not like I'm excited that you guys, that we're going to be working together, and his tail's wagging, which proves that he is excited. So it's highly likely that he is a reference to the boy who cried wolf, because he's a wolf faunus, and he's a boy, and he's lying, and that the whole point of that story was like, if you lie and lie and lie, oh my god, moral of the story, Team RWBY, if you keep lying and lying and lying, eventually no one's gonna believe you when you tell the truth. So, holy shit, like, that's another layer. Oh my god, like, that's so relevant to this episode, it's baffling. So no, he's a wolf faunus. So people are, it's based on the inspirations, based on the boy who cried wolf, it's very likely that he's a reference to the boy who cried wolf. And then we also have Hair. Hold on, let me see. And then we have Hair here. Hair and Vine Zeki. His name is going to be so hard to remember. But Harriet, what's her last name? Harriet Bree. She's fast, based on the opening. She likes competitions. And that's very likely that she is the Hare from the Tortoise and the Hare short fable. Which is all about, patience, slow and steady wins the race, and being all like energetic and competitive, and what's the word I'm looking for? And arrogant will eventually lead to your downfall. So she's based on the Hare from the Tortoise and the Hare, and her name is Harriet, but Zeki called her Hare for short. I'm also going to call him Zeki. I don't want to call him Vine. I think Zeki's a better name. It's his last name. I'm just going to call him Zeki for short for now. It also just rolls off the tongue better for me. Okay, so really quick, I'm going to hit you guys with something. Right now, okay? Brace yourselves. Because some of you guys might understand this. Some of you guys might not. It depends if you guys have seen the show. But I'm going to be honest with you. Then who's the tortoise? Not sure. Not everything needs to have, like, the, you could just have the Hare. Maybe the tortoise is later or something like that. So I looked at this team, right? I saw their camaraderie in this second episode, like actually seeing their banter, how they talk to each other, how they respond, just the overall atmosphere of them five. I'm really liking them. They seem like very likable characters. They came off a little abrasive at the beginning just because, we didn't really know what to expect. But I looked at this team, right? And I immediately thought of this. For the worst. I thought of this team for the worst. All right, hold on. Let me get rid of this. I thought of this team. I'm not going to say anything because that would be spoilers. But I think that's what's going to that's what I think right now. I really like these characters right off the bat. And yeah, if you don't get it, that's fine. I mean, it's really only meant for people who understand this reference I'm talking about. Yeah. And with how bad I think the fall of Atlas is going to be and everything that was built up in this episode to go wrong, I'm just thinking, like, yeah, it can go that bad. It can go Attack on Titan bad. It can go this bad. So that's all I'm going to say. That's how I left that episode feeling, I left this episode being like, I feel like they're all, I'll leave it at that. I'm not jinxing, I promise. I'm just saying. Yo, if any of this stuff that I'm saying happens, yo, I don't even know how I'm gonna feel. I don't know how I'm gonna react. Also, this was a really cool moment here. Just like the comedic kind of almost silly animation going on with RWBY here. I mean, well, it shows that Elm is literally Mother Gaia. Like, she, in every sense of the word, she's just like a strong motherly figure who a strong, warm, motherly figure. And then Weiss is just like, I don't know. Weiss is just being the Ice Queen. Spin to win, I guess. Yeah, poor RWBY. RWBY's just like, I don't know. It's like a string bean right now on the top frame. She looks like a spaghetti. Like, just spaghetti. The prophet has spoken. I kind of do and don't want an Elm bear hug. Oh, boy. I think Vine Zeki, the Zen guy, is a mole. Okay, so that's another thing, too. Ironwood mentioned that he told the Aesops about the relic. And at first, when he first said that, I thought of The Boy Who Cried Wolf. I thought of the wolf guy, because I was like, wait a minute. The wolf used to lie. Like, that whole story is about lying. But then they showed him lying, but in a playful manner. It's like he's tsundere. Like, he's like, I don't even really care, Baka. You know what I mean? Like, he cares, but he's too proud to show it, or he's too embarrassed to show it. So he'll lie to, like, make it seem like he's cooler than that, or, you know what I mean? It doesn't matter to him when it really does. So I initially thought that I thought the wolf was going to be the traitor. I really hope, I just think telling that many people, I mean, granted, it's almost the same amount of people. It's actually less than what it's even less than what Crow told, right? He told Team RWBY, Team RWBY and Team Juniper. Whereas, actually, yeah, it's the same amount of people. The Aesops, Penny, and Winter. He told the same amount of people. I mean, well, if you include Oscar, but by proxy, that's Ozpin. So he told the same amount of people. I just think the more people know, I just hope these guys are the real deal, and none of them are bad people. I will get into a topic regarding the Aesops and what I think could be what could be a very interesting plot point if they go with it. And it's based on in case I forget, someone remind me. It's based on the Aesops. It's based on a fable, and how things can go bad, or how things will go bad regarding them. So, moving on from there. Oh, okay, we're not going to do that again. I'm sorry. I swear to God, if that happens, I did not will that into existence. That's just how I feel, all right? It's just how I feel. That's all I'm going to say. All right, so we got the Doge Boy. Okay, so we got these two as well. Black. Oh, okay. So, for those who haven't seen it, who said it in the chat earlier? Someone asked about the coat. And I was like, don't worry, I'll tell you when we get to that point. Well, we're at that point, okay? Oh, yeah, it was Hunt. Okay, Hunt. Okay, you were the one. All right. Oh, my God. This is a flop, man. It's not that. It's like... Okay. I'm just going to show you guys. Look at Blake. Actually, you know what? I'll help you. I'll help you out real quick. I'll help you out really quick. Oh, I'm sorry, RWBY. I'm sorry, Crewbie. I can never unsee this. Why does anyone care? I mean, you have to. I mean, you don't have to care, but It's there. You can't not see that. I mean, I don't really care. I just found it hilarious when I saw it. I was like, holy shit, what? Why is her coat back on? Like, obviously someone rendered her old outfit back in. Clear it was a mistake, but nonetheless, it's not like it's a sin to note, like, to bring attention to it. It was just like, holy shit, that's really awkward and clearly an oopsie. She's the Starbucks cup. Wait, what? That's her volume. The Mistral Arc jacket that Adam got rid of. You guys know what that means, right? That means if the jacket survived the fight, that means Adam's alive. Yeah, there you go. You heard it here first. Nah, yeah, they'll most likely change that in the Blu-ray. Actually, I'm surprised. I wonder if it's still. Can someone check that right now? Go to the RT website and see if the episode. I believe it's like 16 minutes in, and see if it's changed, because they've done fixes before on the Rooster Teeth site. Like, I remember when the episode came out, like in Volume 5, when the episode between Sun versus Ilya, a lot of other people's reactions show Blake, like, sitting on the floor, but my reaction shows Blake getting up and walking away. Because they like modified, they changed the scene between the uploads. So, they can even change it right now on the RT site before it goes public, or after it goes public for like everyone else on the website. They can most likely change this. Okay, it's still there. All right, I was just curious. But yeah, for those of you who didn't know, that was a thing that happened. I'm not going to be like, oh, you guys fucking suck. I can't believe, like, it's just something neat to point out if you didn't notice it already. And it obviously goes to show no one's perfect. And, you know, it was an oopsie. And, yeah, we just move on. I really liked this moment. I think Ironwood really needed that, to see his friend again. Yeah, that's definitely going in the Easter egg video, the Volume 7 Easter egg video that I'm going to be working on. I'm trying to put together the Volume 6 one, because I meant to do that when Volume 6 ended, but I just got so derailed and distracted. Scarred for life. Yeah, I really liked this moment. Like, I can't... If Ironwood's a liar, like, if he's just playing up, like, I don't believe it. I really think Ironwood's being, like, so human right now and so genuine and honest, and he just misses his friends, and he misses seeing everybody, and he hasn't seen them since the fall of Beacon. Lord knows what could have happened to them. You know what I mean? None of them are guaranteed to be alive just because they're top tier huntsmen and huntresses. You never know. But now here's the thing. How many of you think that Ironwood put a tracker on Crow, or put a bug on him, or put something on him? Like, whether it's like a voice thing or a tracker. Now, initially I thought that, and I was like, wait a minute. At first I said, no, that doesn't make sense, because Crow gets a new outfit. So, like, how would that, you know what I mean? Like, you're gonna put something on his clothes that he's just gonna swap into a new outfit. But he still has his cape, and you see his other arm is up on the top of his, on the neck part of his cape. So he could be doing that either to like to just make sure they're okay, or he's doing that to be like, okay, what exactly are they not telling me? So people are split on that as well. I don't want to think that, but it's possible. So I'm open to the idea, because that would just make things more interesting for the story. To know that RWBY and them are keeping things from Ironwood, and as of right now, right, there's no confirmation that he did something like that. So as of right now, Team RWBY's in the doghouse, because everyone's like, wow, hypocrites, liars, you know, the Ironwood's telling them the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help them God. And then eventually later on we find out that Ironwood didn't trust them to begin with, or was monitoring them the whole time just to make sure. It would make things interesting to see that, you know, maybe Ironwood is being extra precautious, and he's not just like leaving things flat out in the open. But yeah, I liked this. This was so wholesome. And the eye rolls too. There were so many eye rolls in the last 2 episodes. Like Blake eye rolled last episode, Crow eye rolled twice this episode right here, and like when Ironwood was like, I'm sorry, I'm ashamed of what happened, like how you guys were greeted by my troops, and he was like, yeah, okay. But you know, they're bros. They're awesome. I like them. And I don't know. It was just a very wholesome moment. Also, I love Penny. So this felt very video game-esque to me. I don't know if any of you guys felt the same way. But obviously this is just solely me. This is something that I don't think anyone else would really think about or probably ever thought about. I thought of a video game series. It's called, it's the Tales series. They do these little skits that are basically like comedic character development moments where like, and the frame rate and like Penny like moving around and talking reminded me of that. Oh, does it annoy you? I really like it. It gave me an RPG vibe. And this was it right here. Hold on a second. Let me wait for the frame to reset. Just so I can show you guys. Oh, hold on. Ah! I put it on full screen. I'm a fool. Hold on. Give me 1 second. All right, so this is basically it right here. So Tales is the series, and like at the bottom they have like these random skits that they kind of interact with each other in like a boxed form. It's not exactly the same, but it's what it reminded me of. It felt very like RPG-esque. And so I don't know. I really, really, really liked it. It reminded me of like and even the music felt very like RPG. Like, I don't know how to describe it, but it's just what it reminded me of. The frame rate as well. God, I really like it. 60 frames per second to 15 frames per second during the tour. Holy crap, it does look like that. It was so out of place. I mean, I can understand like Penny showing them the entire school. Obviously, we don't have time for that. And so it just kind of emphasizes like, oh, this is all we've been doing for like probably like the last 20 minutes is just Penny giving us a grand tour of Atlas Academy. So I don't know. I really, really, really liked that. I thought it was very fitting. Penny's adorable, by the way. She was like so energetic, so excited to show them the place. This frame took me like 2 minutes to get. It was so hard, even at half speed. So I'm really happy that I got that. And Penny, like, there's so many great like Penny smile moments in the episode. I was just like gushing about Penny earlier, just her being in Ironwood's office. And then even again, like when they first like show up and like they first see her, she's like, yay, you guys are here. She's the one who first greeted them. I just love that Penny is so much more relevant. She's got more voice lines in this episode than I feel the entire show up to this point. So I really hope that they keep that up. I hope she becomes more and more of like a set character as the show goes on, especially if we're going to be like going back and forth with Ironwood. Whenever Ironwood's around, we're going to see her, and maybe even the more we see Pietro, we'll see her as well. I'm just really happy to have her back, and you know, to see how that dynamic works out as time goes on. Poor Nora over here like falling asleep and everything. So here's another thing that I thought of. Right. And I swear to God, I'm not trying to be like, I'm really not trying to be like a freaking like sadistic or anything like that. But like when Penny said this is just going to be like Beacon again, I just thought of like all the horrible things that happened after at Beacon. It's like, this is just going to be like Beacon all over again. And then like my mind is flashing to like Penny getting destroyed, Yang losing her arm, Blake getting stabbed, Pyrrha dying, like all the bad stuff. And I don't know why. I just thought of that. Like, and she said like it's just gonna be like Beacon again. And I wonder if that's gonna be the case, like in a literal sense. Like, are we gonna get the I don't know. It would feel just wrong. Like, it'd be like if we were literally like in a classroom studying, I'd be like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, no, you can't go back to that like textbook lifestyle, knowing what you have on your plate, knowing like the world's forever changed. Like you can't go back to that. And it just wouldn't feel, I don't know. I'd want that, like maybe a slice, like give me an OVA of that when the show is done or something. Like here's a spinoff of what would have happened if Beacon never fell. Like, you know, give me like their day-to-day lives actually happening and stuff like that. But I think now that we know what we know with the plot, especially, I think she's mentioning that like, oh, it's just gonna be like Beacon, and it's like, oh yeah, that's awesome. I doubt we're gonna be here to graduate, or you know, we're just here to help Ironwood and to secure the relic and all that other stuff. Yeah, that's what Chibi's for at this point. That's, I mean, even Chibi's too short for for any type of plot to happen. But yeah, basically RWBY Chibi. Chibi is not canceled. They just put it on the back burner because like all the stuff that basically all of the things that have happened at Rooster Teeth with like the layoffs and the crunch and all that stuff, like they're kind of just reapplying, they're just like reassessing their, like working on one thing at a time essentially. So they said that Chibi and Nomad, they're not canceled, they're just like on the back burner right now. Let's see. High school curriculum. High school curriculum, find the relic. I wonder what all the vaults look like too. If all of them look like or are like by nature the same as the one in like a pocket dimension, or like under a tree or something. Like the relic of, it was weird too. Like the relic tethered to the Spring Maiden was underneath like a tree of life, but inside of like a desert pocket dimension. I don't know. It's just odd.
Maybe Ironwood will give them their licenses.
Yeah, I know, right? Maybe they can finally pass the tune-in exams. Where's the Beacon relic? Nobody knows. How long is the stream so far? 3.5 hours. So I'm most likely going to finish this an hour before, an hour. It's going to be an hour shorter than last week's, and hopefully it's good as well. Let's see. Next scene. This scene really sells the whole mantle. I don't know. I guess it just sells it to me more. The whole, I don't know, just the vibe of this place. Really shitty. It's raining. There's trash everywhere. Random people walking the streets. The lighting is beautiful. The rain effects look way better than they did in volume 4 when when the Higambana? Yeah, it was on the train with Oscar, like on the train station, like as Hazel passed by them, and then Higambana when it was raining, when the crew was already there after they went into the inn. So yeah, also the umbrellas makes me wonder if Neo is here. You know, because her parasol. This also reminded me of the scene in Volume 6. That was another thing that I mentioned during Volume 6 was like everyone was wearing umbrellas in that little, like in the slums area of Mistral when Cinder was looking for the spider's nest, or you know, wherever what's her name was, Little Miss was. And I was like, oh, umbrellas, maybe this is where Neo is. And now I see umbrellas again and I'm like, wait, where's Neo? I hope we get to see her coming into like in the rain. I think that would just be perfect. Even Watts has an umbrella. I doubt that's his weapon, but you know, Umbrella Corporation. Mantle is basically Gotham. Well, I don't even know what Gotham looks like. So I don't know. So Atlas is above the clouds. Yep. Atlas is above and Mantle is below. Kind of like a BioShock Infinite, like the city in the clouds and then the Sodom below. But yeah, so I don't know. I just really liked this scene. It was just real, like the lighting looks great. The water, like the rain effect looks awesome. Just seeing the right amount, like I feel like that's like the right amount of people in this place, because it seems to be like an overpopulated, crowded place, especially based on how Tyrion and Watts are talking about it. So we end up seeing this place. We got Watts, who literally is fashion, like this guy's like a fashion diva. He's got his Gucci bag. He's got his like his freaking, I don't know, his Louis Vuitton like fur coat and his Prada umbrella, and he's just walking through the streets like a he looks like Waluigi if he was like a pimp or something. I don't know. He literally looks like Waluigi. I've been saying that since Volume 5. Like, he's got the long, like, the lanky, like, body type, like, the long dancer's legs and all that stuff. He's got, like, freaking, like, he's got, like, 4 rings on as well. Arthur Waluigi. Pimp Luigi. God, that took me, like, forever to say. Yeah, the collar. Oh, my... Yo, he's literally a fashion diva. Like a boss. This man has the drip. All he's missing is the Shane Dawson makeup. Yeah, I was very impressed when I saw him. I was like, wow, this guy's dressed to impress. And he's just walking through the streets in the rain. Wannabe flexer. Well, I mean, he used to be Atlas, so I expect him to have a high... I mean, he's a gentleman more than anybody else in Salem's entourage, so I would expect him to have the most class, especially since he's in... You know, he's in the kingdom of class, essentially. I mean, right now he's not. He's in the freaking he's in the slums with everybody else. But you know, him and Tyrion are here, and they're causing some havoc. Him and Tyrion have a little bit of a conversation, like talking about like, oh, staying in one location will only make things worse for us. We'll be detected more. Now okay. Really quick, I have to... Sorry, Watts, I got to get rid of you. Number 41, I have to remember that. So here's where my theory comes into play. I don't know what happened to that image. Hold on, give me 1 second. I got to find it. Nope, not you. Nope, not you. 34? Hold on, give me 1 second. Oh! I'm stupid. Okay. So here's a theory I have. I wonder if the Aesops had 6 people. At one point, 6 people. And Tyrion was the 6th one. Now, I say this because... each one of these characters is based off of a different Aesop fable. So you have The Boy Who Cried Wolf, The Elm and the Vine, A Fisherman's Good Luck, The Elm and the Vine with Zeki and an elm, The Tortoise and the Hare. Now, it's not an Aesop fable, but it is a fable based on animals. But Tyrion is a reference to a fable called The Scorpion and the Frog. And it also has a moral lesson behind it as well. And it kind of talks about, like, Tyrion's inspiration, his backstory, like, his inspiration, you know, being a scorpion who just basically fucking kills anything that, attacks anything that moves. And so I feel like all of these characters are based off of fables regarding animals or nature. So I wonder if, and because these are all Aesop fables and this one's just a separate fable, maybe that's what causes the distinction between them and him. But I wonder... because why that tipped me off is because Tyrion says, so Watts is like, oh, we need to keep moving. And then Tyrion was like, what if we're spotted? What if we're seen? What if we're recognized? Now I can expect Watts being recognized, right? Disgraced Elysian scientist, someone in the higher echelons of Atlas will most likely recognize him. But why would Tyrion be afraid that someone would recognize him? Unless he used to be an Aesop. And another thing that I was thinking too was, I said it too, like when in the first episode reaction, I was, wait, no, I think it was this reaction you guys will see tomorrow. I said like, I don't think Tyrion's ever fought a Faunus before, right? He's only fought Crow. Well, he's fought Crow. Now in the opening, he's fighting Crow and Harriet, technically RWBY if you want to count that, even though she got into their fight. So Tyrion hasn't really been in a fight with it. So, and then I was thinking, I was like, would Tyrion fight another Faunus? Because this guy's a Faunus. And so that got me thinking about, like, if there really was 6. And maybe that's why Tyrion and Watts are the perfect duo, because they're both from Atlas. At least for Watts, it makes sense. He's obviously Atlesian, but for Atlas, for it to be Tyrion as well. And Tyrion seems to know his way around the place, and he's talking about, like, you know, like the place with 1,000 eyes and stuff like that. It just made me wonder. Oh yeah, and Team Ranger. Yeah, Team Ranger in Volume 4. I can't believe I forgot that. Yeah, so Team Ranger in Volume 4. Crow in Volume 4, and Robin in the opening, so he's going to be fighting Crow and Robin again. So he's never fought a Faunus that we've seen in the show so far. So that made me think, like, would he fight his own kind? And then I just thought, like, I went beyond that. I was like, well, they're based off of fables with animals. He's based off of a fable with an animal. What if they were all on the same team? Because obviously they respect Faunus enough to have them be a part of the team. And maybe Tyrion just didn't mesh well with them. And yeah. So I don't know if Watts had any type of influence on Tyrion. Maybe that's what led it to be, him to be disgraced. Was he experimenting on Tyrion or whatever the case might be? You know, he has a tail and everything. I don't know. That's just, my initial theory right now is I feel like Tyrion knows the Aesops. The Aesops know Tyrion, and that's why Tyrion said he doesn't want to get caught up in things, because he doesn't want to be recognized, because people know who he is or know what he looks like. That's all I can think of regarding that. I thought that'd be interesting enough to bring to y'all's attention, and for those of you who didn't know. But yeah, these two guys are here. They're making moves. This guy hacked the entire Mantle security network. Tyrion's out there killing random people for no reason, and I'm just like, okay. They're slowly but surely getting what they want. And then we have Watts over here, like the new Watchdogs looks awesome. Looking forward to that when it comes out. This guy's literally just like a regular, what's the Adrian Pierce? This guy makes Adrian Pierce look like a novice. And he's just like walking the streets. He's got his ring and he just presses the button. If you guys haven't seen it, it's this image right here. So he presses the ring on his finger, it glows, and he can just hack things at will. We don't even know. Oh, Aiden Pierce. Okay, yeah. I've never played Watch Dogs, so I was close. Adrian. Yeah, Aiden Pierce. So yeah, Watts Dog. Oh, that's clever. Oh, that's really good. Watts Dog. Oh my god, that's so dumb. Yeah, oh my god, the puns, they just keep coming. But yeah, so he's got, and if you see, he looks like he has 4 rings on. They get smaller as they go down to the pinky. So he's got 4 different rings, probably for 4 different things. Security. I have no idea what the other ones could possibly be. He has the Black Queen virus at his disposal clearly as well. I'm pretty sure he's going to be using that again for hacking like the entire network. As of right now, Watts owns Mantle at this point. Like, Watts can control Mantle however he sees fit. And again, it's partially due, in my opinion, to Ironwood's reckless judgment. Like, you realize your entire network was thwarted by this mystery person that you and Pietro have come to a consensus in realizing it's a genius and it's one of our own. But you just want to protect y'all's cell. You know, you want to protect you guys. You don't want to protect everyone who's under your umbrella. And that's what it took. Watts is smart as fuck. I'm scared right now, man. I'm scared for this guy. Like, just to see what he's capable of. And yeah, he took down the network. And at this point, everyone's at his mercy. And it really just depends on what he feels like doing now. Which, you know, Salem's given him the grounds to do whatever he wants. Watts hasn't fucked up anything for them yet. You know, Tyrion didn't kill Crow. Cinder forced the plans, ruined their chances of getting a relic. Hazel took the blame, didn't really accomplish much. Like, he was by no means the reason why they lost, but he didn't really contribute all that much in terms of, like, confronting Ozpin. Like, he didn't kill him at all or set their plans back. So Watts is the only one who has yet to fuck up. Watts is the only one who has yet to disappoint Salem. Someone in the chat said the rings could be 1 for cameras, 2 for traffic, like the obstructions and the stop signs, and then 3 for robots. Yeah, that could work, because there are some Atlesian robots in Mantle, and those were probably not upgraded either. Like the drone too. Oh my god, this guy's literally gonna hack he's gonna hack into the mainframe. I wonder if Watts has a semblance though, because this just seems like brain smarts. This just seems like he's a technologically gifted individual. But I don't think everyone has everyone doesn't have a semblance. You know what I mean? That's just confirmed. Like, everyone in the show does not. Torchwick didn't have a semblance. He was very effective and charismatic, and he played the villain role really well. And I don't think everyone needs to have one, right? Tyrion can poison people, but not all Faunus have semblances either. Blake has, like, and in the RWBY companion book, they specifically said, like, some Faunus have special abilities, but there's no Faunus in the book that has a special ability and a semblance, right? Blake has shadow clones, but it didn't say that Blake had a special ability. Ilya had camouflage as a special ability. Tyrion had poison as a special ability, but neither of those two characters had a semblance. So I'm wondering if Faunus either have a special ability or a semblance, but not both. I don't think we've seen both. Can IQ be a semblance? I mean, we just don't know. We need that confirmation. But I don't really think you know what I mean? Like, he's a genius. He's a smart individual, but so is Pietro. Just because you're smart doesn't mean that's your semblance. So, you know, this could just literally be smarts. Like, his wit, he's just a genius, and you gotta fight the mental, you have to fight the big brain battles with him. His semblance is his fashion sense. Blake has super hearing. Blake can see and hear better. Well, nearly what did they say? Nearly all Faunus have nearly perfect sight in the dark. I just think like the seeing thing, that's just a Faunus trait, and they even talked about that back in volume 1. Her hearing, I get why, because she has 4 ears, I guess. I wouldn't call that a special ability. I don't think her hearing has ever come into play in the show before that it would be categorized as an ability like Ilya's camouflage or Tyrion's ability to poison. But yeah. And then wrapping up that, yeah. Tyrion has a bone for murder. But yeah, that's basically the episode. The villains are making plays, they're making moves, and I don't know. And even in this bottom scene here, if you go back and you listen to this scene before Tyrion opens the door, you can hear someone screaming inside. So Tyrion literally, like, just killed them, probably filleted them open with that much blood pouring out of the door. They probably died right behind the door, like filleted open, and their blood's just like streaming out of, like, okay, I don't want to be that descriptive, like, I don't know. It was very, very disturbing. It's like, Jesus Christ, man, this guy's just going around killing people, nobody knows, and then you're just gonna have these random occurrences of, like, dead people are turning up everywhere. Watts knows what's going on, no media to cover it, because apparently in the last episode, obviously I don't know if he's targeting the media to kind of suppress the spread of information, which would be a good call for them, because the more damage they can do, the less people that know it, the better. But yeah, also, yeah, that's a camera. That's a camera that, it looks like Grim Juice. Oh God, no, that looks like blood. It's red in this frame, and you can hear someone screaming. If you go back to the episode right now, and you like, right when Tyrion comes out of the door, like before he comes out of the door, when it changes from like Watts mentioning, like, oh, I helped write that code, you can hear someone screaming. For some reason, the captions don't credit it. Like, they don't give any type of reference. The captions don't give any type of credit to the fact that someone just freaking was screaming bloody murder, but you can hear it. No, I'd be devastated if he can. No, some people say that, like, that is the office area of where, like, or like the office of Pietro. But I was just thinking, I'm like, but their building, like, overlooked the street, and Tyrion's in an alleyway right here. So I don't really know if that's necessarily the case. Also, yeah, killing Maria off screen, that'd be really stupid. Why would you do that? Also, killing Pietro off screen would be really dumb. Why would you do that? This, at the very least, tells me that he's just killing random people. Whether they're targeted or not, they could be the target of the media based on the last episode, like I said, but that's it. Yeah, it was also a female scream. Yeah, this is like literally a back alleyway. And lastly, basically, long story short, we finished the episode discussion in 3 hours and 50 minutes. Well, less than that, but I started the discussion maybe 20 minutes into the actual stream. But so the last thing I wanted to touch up on here is the height for these characters. These characters are fucking giants. Everyone here is taller than me besides Hare. She's 5'7". I'm 6 feet. So Marrow is 6'1". Elm is 6'5". Fucking Zeki is 6'6". And Clover is 6'3". And when you put that in perspective with the other characters, the tallest character in the series being Junior, he's almost 7 feet tall. Actually, no. This is not updated. I thought this was an updated one, but I just noticed that Yatsuhashi's not here, and I think Yatsuhashi is the tallest character in the show. So never mind. This is a very underrated. This is like a volume 2 chart. Nonetheless, a lot of characters still. Hey, I see the Malachite twins. Anyone remember them? Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. Yeah. Yeah, I'm 6 feet tall. So, these guys are on the higher end. They're just, they're like around Neptune. Wait, is that? Wait, where's the 6? Okay, 6 feet. Yeah, so from Sun and up. So I'm as tall as Jean and Sun. And then, like, they're like Torchwick's height and higher, which is pretty nuts. Jesus Christ. Poor Neo. Look how short she is. But yeah, yeah, I just thought it would be interesting to kind of showcase the height chart as well, just because they gave it at the end of the episode. But yeah, guys, we finished the discussion in less than 4 hours. Holy crap. I'm so happy. I'm so tired. I'm exhausted. Yeah, so I gotta wake up tomorrow. So tomorrow, episode 3 comes out. It is likely to be an episode focusing on the upgrades of the characters. So everyone's going to be getting an upgrade, talking about basically, an upgrade and a focus on the Aesops. Most likely from the opening, it's going to be the episode with the landing strategy, everyone landing and jumping out of the airship, probably to the mines. I don't know what they need to go to the mines for their plan. We're probably going to get the new Sentinel Grim, like the centipede looking dudes. And yeah, I don't know if they're going to give any type of screen time to the transition, like the new outfits, the new upgrades, character moments or anything like that, just because I believe it's a 17-minute episode, and after the intro and outro, that's about 15 minutes of screen time. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. My reaction will be posted tomorrow at noon, 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on my YouTube channel. Also, thank you guys for everyone that watched. I can't believe it. My reaction to the first episode has over 100,000 views already, which is, I don't think that's happened since, like, I don't even know if my Volume 6 reaction did that well. Like, my initial Volume 6 reaction got that many views in a short amount of time. But yeah, my Volume 7 Episode 1 reaction has over 100K views, which is ridiculous. Like, that's fucking crazy in a week span as well. So thank you to all of you who watched it. If you guys liked it, I'm glad to hear that. And my reaction to Episode 2 will be posted tomorrow as a premiere. It'll go live at 12 o'clock. I'll be in the chat with all y'all as well. And yeah, so I'm working right now on the rapid fire review for Episode 2. I'm gonna try to get it out by like Monday or Tuesday. I don't know if I can get it. Well, tomorrow I'm completely booked. I'm gonna be focusing solely on Episode 3. So Sunday, Monday, maybe Tuesday or Wednesday, I'll have the Episode 2 review out, and that's mainly to cater to people who can't watch this whole live stream, especially since it's coming out a day later. And for the most part, it's going to be on par with people who are non-first members, just because first members are going to be focused on episode 3, while non-first members are getting episode 2. So at the very least, it'll be out on par and on schedule with non-first members. So if you guys want to check it out, you can. And I appreciate it if you do. I got a very warm reception for the first batch of episodes. And, for the first episode, rather. Or for the first review, rather. And I kind of want to just see how I'm going to do that, especially with such a dense episode like this. Are you going to do another mailbag unboxing? It's funny you say that. I actually have to go to the post office rather soon. I have a few packages in my other room that I have to open. So yeah, I'll probably be doing that before the holidays, like before like December 1st or anything. Like, yeah, most likely before December 1st. I actually should do that before Thanksgiving, because Thanksgiving is really when the holidays transition. I'm not going to really be here for around that time. Someone said crack your knuckles, please. I mean, yeah, I crack my knuckles all the time. It's a bad habit. I've been cracking my knuckles since like the 3rd grade, and my arms. But yeah. Anyways, thank you guys so much for joining. I appreciate it. I hope you guys enjoyed the last 3.5 hours of talking, discussing, rambling, theorizing. This was a really dense episode with a lot to say on a lot of different things. The morality of the fact, the lying, the hypocrisy, the plot overall. Episode 3 tomorrow seems like it's gonna be a very exciting episode, like Team RWBY, Team Juniper, along with the Aesop, seeing what they're capable of in the field as like full like true top tier elite huntsmen. That's going to be exciting. My reaction will be posted tomorrow and everything else in between. But thank you guys for joining. Thank you guys for the donations, the super chats. I appreciate the support all around. Also, for any of you guys who are watching this after the fact when it's uploaded to YouTube, thank you very much. Thank you for leaving your feedback on the first discussion. For those of you who watched the entire thing, I greatly appreciate the support there. And hopefully you all enjoyed this discussion as well. But with all that said, thank you guys very much for watching. You guys have a good night. I will talk to you guys really soon for episode 3 next week. And until then, take care.